It is a cold football Friday night. It's the quarterfinal round of the Alabama High School Athletic Association State Football Playoffs. This is High School Football Alabama's After the Game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission. John Holder, Chad Barnett, Coach Michael Short, our entire hard-working After the Game team will be with you for the next 2 to 3 hours tonight. We've got every score in the state of Alabama. We've got the brackets filled out 1A through 7A. We'll tell you about the semifinals coming next week. We've got highlights of games from across East Alabama. We're going to announce our concession stand of the year, our game of the year, our Spirit Scholarship winners for the year, and a whole lot more as we roll on this football Friday night. Right now, let's take you to our USA Softball of Alabama scoreboard and get you up to date on all the final scores. And we have all the finals of all the games involving teams here in East Alabama. And of course, we'll have our Emblem Credit Union bottom line scrolling those final scores throughout the night at the bottom of your screen. Right now, the USA Softball of Alabama scoreboard. Here it is. We will have highlights of this game, and there will be a lot of highlights. Jordan Smith and Coach Michael Short at the Field of Champions in Piedmont tonight. Huge matchup. Blue Bloods of small school football in Alabama. This game went to overtime. Number 2 Piedmont stopping a 2-point conversion at the end of overtime. Number 2 Piedmont beats number 5, the defending 2A champion who moved up to 3A this year. Piedmont denies them on the 2-point conversion to win the game in overtime. Piedmont 30, 528. We will have in our Judd Edwards State Farm Insurance Game of the Week the complete highlights, every major play in the game, plus the post-game reaction from the Field of Champions in Piedmont. Piedmont moves on to the North Alabama Championship game. They are 1 win away from going back to the Super 7 in Birmingham. Also tonight, we will have highlights of this game. Closer than anyone thought this was going to be at Lamar Field tonight. Number 3 Oxford, like Piedmont, they remain undefeated, now 13-0. They held off a tough Fort Payne team tonight, 28-26. We've got complete highlights of this game, some post-game reaction from head coach Sam Adams as well. Oxford moves on to the North Alabama Championship game in 6A, going to Parker next week in Birmingham. Oxford beats Fort Payne tonight, 28-26. Complete highlights of that game on the way as well. The third Calhoun County team in action tonight, things did not go as well for them. They were on the road tonight, talking about the Anniston Bulldogs. They go to Trinity to take on the West Morgan Rebels. West Morgan, number 4 team in 4A, now 13-0. They beat Anniston tonight, 50-20. Tough night for the Bulldogs, but give all the credit to Coach Rico Jackson and the Bulldogs. They went all the way to the quarterfinal round. That's the top 8 teams in the state in Class 4A. Anniston was there. They'll finish 7-6. Good season for the Bulldogs, but they lose tonight as they lose to West Morgan 50-20. The Wadley Bulldogs had better success tonight as Wadley was on the road at Berry tonight. Berry, the team that shut out Spring Garden last week. 67 points by number 1 Wadley tonight. Wadley remains undefeated. They go to Fayette County. They beat Berry tonight, 67-26 the final. Berry will also be in the North Alabama Championship game of Class 1A at home at Curtis Lynch Memorial Stadium in Wadley next Friday night against Hackleburg. Also tonight, great matchup. Number 1 versus number 2 in 5A. So many people coming to this game, they moved it to Faulkner University. They moved it off of Montgomery Catholic Stadium campus, moved it to Faulkner University, and they even filled that up tonight, as I understand it. Number 1 Montgomery Catholic, defending Class 4A state champion, moving up to 5A this year. They beat Central Clay County 21-9. Clay Central season will end at 12-1. We will have Tommy Wood. He's the voice you hear at Volunteer Stadium, also with the AHSA radio network. We will have Tommy with a live Skype report from Montgomery coming up just a little bit later on here on After the Game as Montgomery Catholic advances to the South Alabama Championship game in 5A with that win over Clay Central tonight. Another game we will have highlights of. My crew tonight was at Bill Morris Stadium in Moody. Number 4 Moody taking on Ramsey out of Birmingham tonight. And Moody wins the game 49-7. We will have most of the highlights. When we left close to halftime, it was already 35-7. This was all Moody all the way tonight. Last year, Ramsey, we were there last year in the quarterfinals. Ramsey came in and won the game 40-27, but this is a much better Moody team. Moody will take on Leeds next week. Battle of the Bridge for the North Alabama Championship in 5A, a berth to the Super 7 on the line as Leeds and Moody will rematch next week. That battle of Highway 411. The 411 boys from Moody, very impressive tonight. We'll show you highlights, including the play of the year in high school football. We're going to show you a catch tonight by a Moody wide receiver that you're not going to believe. We got that coming up for you. Moody beat Ramsey tonight 49-7. We'll have highlights of that game coming from Moody and Cherokee County. The Warriors rolling. They're a win away from their third consecutive Class 4A Super 7 berth. Number 3 Cherokee County on the road at Brooks tonight. They led it 21-7. Brooks scored late to make it interesting. But Cherokee County rolls again on the road tonight at Killen as they beat the Brooks Lions 21-14. Cherokee County and West Morgan, a rematch of a quarterfinal round game last year that was a 1-point win by Cherokee County at Trinity. This time they'll play at Center next Friday night at Bobby Joe Johnson Field. Cherokee County now moving on there 12-1 as they move on to the Class 4A North Alabama Championship game. Bringing it back here on After the Game. We're coming to you live tonight, by the way, from the Dad's Barbecue Top of the River Media Center right here on Quintard Avenue in Anniston at the campus of Parker Memorial Baptist Church. And we're pleased to be joined at this time by the longtime voice of the Valley Cubs on the radio for so many years. Also the owner and operator of Awards to Remember out in Ohatchee. Robert Smith joins us here on After the Game. Robert, always a pleasure to have you with us on these Football Friday nights. And as we run through all those scores there of our local teams, anything that stands out to you?
Well, certainly one thing that jumps out to me being from Alexandria is to see two teams that from Alexandria's region, Class 4A Region 6, Anniston and Cherokee County still playing tonight. And, you know, that shows you the quality of that region. But then also Oxford doing well. A great game tonight between Piedmont and Fife up in the northern part of the county. It just shows you the quality of football we have here in Calhoun County.
Let's talk about Cherokee County a little bit because you were at Brooks last week at Killen working on the stadium. They had scissor lifts that they had to rent.
Right.
Bobby Tittle, the principal there at Cherokee County, told me they were going to do the same thing. They had to get a big scissor lift for their coaches to have a place to be up high and see things that were going on. Tell us about that Brooks team. Were you surprised it was that close, or because I know Cherokee County very, very good. Kind of your impressions of that game based on seeing them play last week, and obviously you saw Cherokee County in person this year too.
No, not really surprised that it was that close, John. I think Brooks has a quality team. We saw it that a week ago. Cherokee County certainly has a quality team. Really not surprised that it was only a 7-point ball game. Just two really good football teams. Probably the difference maybe Cherokee County having to make that trip. It's a long trip from here and not a really good way to get there. 2-lane roads, 4-lane roads, you know, not an interstate drive there. And that probably affected Cherokee County a little bit, but glad to see a team from Alexandria's region get the win.
You know, the Anniston Bulldogs, another team, they came into Death Valley and won pretty handily early in the season. And so this was a very dangerous football team, I thought. And, of course, they made it all the way to the quarterfinals. I think it tells us how strong West Morgan is to beat that Anniston team 50-20. And especially the big thing about Anniston was their defense was so good. And to score 50 points on Anniston, and this was a 43-6 game early on. This was really not even as close as the final score. That game between West Morgan and Cherokee County next week might be worth seeing up at Bobby Joe Johnson Field.
Absolutely. And, you know, to beat that, for West Morgan to beat Anniston like they did really shows that West Morgan has a quality team. Anniston probably has as much talent, as much speed as anybody. Of course, Alexandria faced them in, I believe, the third game of the season. It's been quite a while since I've seen Anniston play. But, you know, they have a good football team, and for West Morgan apparently does as well.
Let's talk about awards to remember now. You've been a great partner with us from the get-go, from the very beginning here on After the Game. Our Tough Guy Trophy that we present to the team of the week each week. The plaques that we give out. We're going to give out some more plaques tonight. As a matter of fact, for our concession stand of the week, our plaque for the player of the week. just an outstanding job, and it's been a great partnership, and all the work you do is top notch and top quality. We talk about that every week on here, but it really is good stuff.
Well, thank you, John. You know, we've been in business for 41 years. Of course, I started the business when I was 3 years old, so been doing that for quite a while. But you know, I was talking with someone on the drive here actually, and talking about how Awards to Remember enjoys the partnership with High School Football Alabama, because with some of the demographics that we've always tried to market ourselves to, and that being schools and coaches and that kind of thing. I mean, there's really not a better partnership for us to have with you guys, and we appreciate everything you do for us.
And you know, it's not just schools that you deal with. If you're a company, a business, an organization of any kind out there, any kind of awards that you may have, tell folks what all you provide, not just with schools and sports teams, but it's way more than that, right?
Absolutely. Plaques, trophies, medals, ribbons, laser engraving, acrylic awards. We do, this time of year, we do a lot of corporate awards. A lot of businesses that are recognizing people for things that have happened during the year. They do that a lot in December and January. That's one of the biggest things that we do this time of year. So it's a lot more than sports, but sports is one of the things we enjoy doing and enjoy partnering with you guys.
Yeah, you know, talk about sports for all the years I believe that we've had the Calhoun County Sports Hall of Fame. I've been serving on that board for a lot of years. You've done our plaques for us, and so you can do elaborate things. There's really nothing you can't do, because I feel like one of the things that you do that's really elaborate is the plaques that we provide for the inductees in the Calhoun County Sports Hall of Fame, because we do an etching of the face of the person who's going in, which is not something that you do every day. I don't think that's pretty high level stuff, and they're always amazing how much they look. The likeness is so uncanny how it looks like the person. So you can do things that are very, very complicated and unique as well.
Right. You know, the Calhoun County Sports Hall of Fame has been an account that I've always been really proud to have since its inception in, what, John, 2005, I believe. And so that's one of the things that we do, and you know, just really, really proud to be able to partner with Calhoun County Sports Hall of Fame as well.
Folks want to check out all the different things you have and what all you can do and things like that. How's the best way to get in touch? You got a great website, got a great store out there in Ohatchee. Tell folks how to get in touch.
You can find us at awardstoremember.com, and also can give us a call at 256-892-2500. And our main staff, that's another thing I'm proud of. The couple of folks that really do the most to help me run the place. One's been with me for 25 years, one for 23 years. So we must be doing something right.
That means they got a good boss. That's what that means. Robert Smith is the owner, the operator. He is Awards to Remember in Ohatchee, and also the longtime voice of the Alexandria Valley Cubs with our friends, the Big 95 WHMA, great partners to provide such great coverage of high school football in this area with Tex Carter and those folks over there. Robert, thank you for spending some time with us on this Football Friday night. And don't worry, it'll be around again before we know it. High school football 2025. Alexandria football and great 4A football here in East Alabama. And we've been talking about that. We'll talk about that more as we got some great highlights coming up. And we'll give you all the scores and highlights and brackets for Class 4A and all the other classifications coming up. Let's talk about RMC. Another partner has been with us since the very beginning here on High School Football Alabama After the Game is Regional Medical Center right here in East Alabama. And RMC, if you're looking for primary care, they've got it right here. They're in Anniston, Oxford, Jacksonville, and Roanoke. You can learn more at rmccares.org/family medicine. When we come back, we are going to introduce to you the Farmers and Merchants Bank Spirit Scholarship winners for 2024. That's next.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Terry Howell, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
The game-winning touchdown.
A goal line stand.
The perfect catch.
The perfect stop.
These are the moments that move you, but when a sports injury puts you on the sidelines, it's our job to get you moving again.
Aniston Orthopedic Associates is the longest-standing orthopedic practice in East Alabama, providing exceptional care to thousands of athletes.
Shaping the next generation of legends.
Dedicated to what moves you.
Aniston Orthopedic Associates, 8 a.m. Saturday Sports Injury Clinic. Every football season Saturday, 701 Layton Avenue, 3rd floor, Tyler Center.
What does it mean to be a community bank? At Noble Bank and Trust, it means you're more than an account number, you're a valued member of our community. Whether it's checking, savings, a loan, mortgage, or line of credit, Noble Bank and Trust meets all your banking needs with exceptional technology customized just for you while making you feel right at home. Make the switch to Noble Bank and Trust, and we will make sure you're taken care of from beginning to end. Noble Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
I can't imagine life without Gwen, but we came dangerously close.
I was having chest pains.
Luckily, there was a hospital nearby that quickly discovered one of her arteries was 100% blocked. A hospital with life-saving technology and the latest in cardiac treatment, with an experienced team of doctors and nurses focused on fixing Gwen's heart. What hospital had all of that?
It was all right here at RMC.
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you.
Contact local agent Judd Edwards for your personal price plan today.
Tailgate season is here, and tailgate with a new Team One Chevy. With every test drive, you have the chance to win a new Team One Chevy tailgate package. With 1.9% financing and up to $10,000 discounts on all Silverados. Take a test drive with a chance to win a new tailgate package. Save big with Team One Chevy and be a winner. Remember, Team One Chevy, home of the best people, the best service, period.
We're back on high school football. Alabama's After the Game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission. Let me tell you about Team One Chevrolet in Gadsden. We're in the middle, obviously, of tailgate season. They got the hot new Blazer, the Equinox, the new Silverados, 1.9% financing. Save big, be a winner at Team One Chevrolet in Gadsden, home of the best people, the best service, period. Back on After the Game, John Holder with you on this Football Friday night. We began all the way back in September with our Farmers and Merchants Bank Spirit Scholarship. We began with 80 student athletes from 20 schools, every school in Calhoun and Cherokee counties, nominated by the schools, top student athletes, male and female. We narrowed that down with online voting to the top 40, and then we narrowed that down from 40 to 2 just in the last few weeks. As we narrowed that down, the voting ended on Monday. All of the final 40 will have 20 male athletes, 20 female athletes. They are going to all receive a $50 gift card courtesy of the folks at Farmers and Merchants Bank. But 2 of those is voted by you, and then our automated draw that we had from all the entries that you made. Our 2 finalists, we had 1 male and 1 female that were chosen basically by you and for the automated process to receive $1,500 each scholarships. That's $3,000 in college scholarships, courtesy of the folks at Farmers and Merchants Bank. So we're going to take you to the acceptance, I guess the presentation now of our Farmers and Merchants Bank Spirit Scholarship winners for 2024. Here it is. Back on high school football, Alabama's After the Game on this Football Friday night, and we have come to the end of the season, our last show. That always means that we're going to officially announce our Farmers and Merchants Bank Spirit Scholarship winners for the 2024 season. And we have Chris Latta here from Farmers and Merchants Bank. Great partners. We'll talk with him as well. Right here next to me, we have Carson Tittle. He is the male winner from Cherokee County High School in Center, a $1,500 college scholarship. And Jakaya Cooley from Aniston High School. She is our female winner. Congratulations. Chris, let's start with you. This is another phenomenal year. We had this year 20 schools, every school in Calhoun and Cherokee County, bringing us student athletes eligible for this. We pared it down from 80 student athletes to these two. Just another great season.
It has been another great season. You know, we are always happy to support the student athletes and the communities, and this is just one way we have of supporting each of them, and congratulations to these two.
Absolutely. Over just the last several years, Farmers and Merchants Bank has given away tens of thousands of dollars in scholarship money, all to local student athletes right here in East Alabama. That is phenomenal. Dozens of student athletes that have been recipients of some much needed scholarship money.
Oh, definitely. You know, we're always happy to support the student athletes, and this is just one small way to do it and keep them. We were talking a few minutes ago about these students athletes' plans of the next, once they graduate next spring, and just enjoy supporting them.
Well, it is a little bit different. We're going to take you behind the curtain just a little bit. Obviously, Cherokee County and Anniston playing tonight way away from here at West Morgan and at Brooks. So we recorded this a little bit earlier so they could be at the games coming up tonight up in Northwest Alabama. I want to begin, we're going to talk and get a little information so you can know these student athletes just a little bit better. And we're going to start with our female athlete. She's a cheerleader for the Bulldogs. She's tonight cheering on the Bulldogs at West Morgan High School in the Class 4A quarterfinals. Jakaya Cooley. Jakaya, tell us about your plans. How are you going to use this scholarship money? Where do you want to go to school?
I want to go to either Alabama State University or UAB.
And you've already got your major picked out and you're laser focused, I think, on what you want to become.
Mm-hmm. I either want to major in nursing or child education.
Well, when we recorded this, obviously we don't know the outcome of the game, but give us a good go Bulldogs in your best Anniston cheerleading voice.
Go Bulldogs!
Awesome. Carson Tittle is a football and baseball player for the Cherokee County High School Warriors. Carson, tell us about your college plans.
You know, I'm planning on going to Gadsden State, maybe play a little bit of baseball there, then major in education and transfer to JSU.
And you already know what you want to be, and I think a lot of folks, to no surprise, will not be shocked at what you want to become.
Yeah, I want to be a coach.
He wants to be a coach, so maybe one of these days, if I hang around long enough, he might be joining us here on High School Football Alabama as one of our coaches, one of our guests coaching somewhere here in East Alabama. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here with us. Congratulations once again on our Farmers and Merchants Bank Spirit Scholarship Contest winners. Great job both on the field and also in the classroom. Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
All right. Jakaya Cooley of Anniston High School, Carson Tittle of Cherokee County High School, and of course from Farmers and Merchants Bank, Chris Latta, our Farmers and Merchants Bank Spirit Scholarship winners for 2024. Congratulations. Once again, congratulations to Jakaya and also to Carson, our scholarship winners. We're not done with big announcements tonight. Coming up before the show is over, we are going to announce our Northeast Orthopedics Game of the Year. Before we get to that, we'll go one more time through all of the 5 finalists that you have been voting for. That's exactly right. So here we go. Here's finalist number 1 in our Game of the Year, New Hope at Ohatchee. This is all the way back in the first game of the season. Of course, this was a record-breaking game, a 76-71 win by the Ohatchee Indians on the Creek Bank at Ohatchee over New Hope. It came down to the last play of the game, a Hail Mary pass by Ohatchee on the last play of the game to win it. At the time, this game broke the all-time state record throughout all of history, over about 100 years of high school football for the most points scored combined in a game by 2 teams. That record was broken a little bit later on in the season, but again, that was game number 1. That's our first nominee, New Hope and Ohatchee, in our Northeast Orthopedics Game of the Year. You've been voting for that. That voting ended today at 12 noon, and we will have the winner announced for you momentarily, coming up a little bit later on the show, courtesy of the folks at Northeast Orthopedics. Let's tell you about Ted's Floors and Beyond. They sponsored our Team of the Week this year. Ted's great folks. And let me tell you, you're working with a local business. Their priority is customer satisfaction. They are going to get it right. If they don't get it right the first time, they're going to make it right, and that happens very rarely. But they have in-home consultation services expert designers to help plan and visualize the perfect space, and they are highlighting their commitment. They want to highlight that they are eco-friendly. They have sustainable floor options as well. Great folks, great partners with High School Football Alabama. We will be announcing, by the way, after the Super 7, we're going to see which team goes the deepest in the playoffs, and we will announce our Ted's Floors and Beyond Team of the Year coming up in the month of December. Right now, it's time for our first extra point of the night, presented by State Representative Randy Wood out of District 36. A total of 17 schools in the AHSAA finished the regular season undefeated in 2024. Of those 17 schools, 5 were from East Alabama, including the only 2 in Class 1A, Wadley and Spring Garden, Class 3A Piedmont, Class 5A Central of Clay County, and Class 6A Oxford. And how about this? 3 of those 5 are still undefeated and playing in the state semifinals next week. Class 1A Wadley, Class 3A Piedmont, and Class 6A Oxford. We come back, we are going to announce our concession stand of the year from Johnson's Giant Foods. That is next.
Your home is a reflection of you.
We understand that. That's why we'll personally help guide you through the process of product selection, finance, and installation. We have an extensive selection of designer tile, stone, carpet, laminate, hardwood, cabinets, and outdoor products, all with industry-leading quality.
Let us help you choose the perfect touches for your entire home. We offer free in-home estimates and design consultations.
Visit us today at Ted's Floors and Beyond.
We stand for Mother Nature. Home sweet home. The best you. Sunsets with friends. Hustle. Art that lasts. Life's simple pleasures. You know, life has purpose when we stand for something. ATCU is now Emblem, a credit union that stands for excellence and community. But most of all, Emblem Credit Union stands for our members and what's important to them. We stand for
Makeup.
At Jacksonville State University, the journey starts with you. It begins with your ambition, your curiosity, your dreams. Here, you forge your own path. You have the power to make a difference. Explore new horizons. We journey forward together. The journey starts with you.
They gonna do a cheer?
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the F&M Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Back on High School Football Alabama's After the Game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission. John Holder, Coach Michael Short, Chad Barnett, our entire hard-working team with you on this football Friday night. USA Softball, we're about to go to our scoreboard once again. Let me tell you, they've got coming up the City of Gadsden Parks and Recreation Department sponsoring the Toys for Tots tournament. Bring a toy or a $10 donation to support, I sound like I was from New Hampshire. to support Toys for Tots chapter in Etowah County. If you need more information about that or anything else going on with USA Softball of Alabama, go to their great website, usasoftballofalabama.com. We promised you we would take you back and get you all the final scores tonight in our USA Softball of Alabama scoreboard. And here it is. Here's all the local scores from teams across East Alabama that played tonight in the state quarterfinals. We will begin by maybe the most thrilling game tonight. I think this was the only game we had in the state of Alabama that went to overtime tonight. That was number 2 Piedmont at the Field of Champions in Piedmont, denying 5 on a 2-point conversion in overtime to knock off the defending 2A champion Red Devils tonight. 30-28. Piedmont remains undefeated, 13-0. That is our Judd Edwards State Farm Insurance game of the week. So we have right now, I think they're coming down Quintard right now, as I understand it. All right, we got Jordan Smith, Coach Michael Short on their way. We will have the complete highlights, every big play in that game from the Field of Champions tonight. Plus, we'll have the post-game reaction from the Piedmont folks in a thrilling game that came right down to the very last play in overtime. Complete highlights coming your way. Also, we're going to have complete highlights of this game, a 6A quarterfinal game at Lamar Field in Oxford. Number 3 Oxford, they are also 13-0. They had a tough time with Fort Payne tonight. Oxford wins the game 28-26. We'll have complete highlights, post-game reaction from head coach Sam Adams of the Oxford Yellow Jackets as Oxford moves on to the North Alabama Championship game in Class 6A. The other team in Calhoun County that was in the state quarterfinals, it did not go as well for the Anniston Bulldogs. Anniston tonight playing in Trinity against number 4 West Morgan. The Rebels remain 13-0 undefeated. They got a matchup with Cherokee County coming. West Morgan beating Anniston tonight 50-20 tonight up in Morgan County. Also this evening, another team that was undefeated, and this team ranked number 1 in the state. That's the Wadley Bulldogs. Wadley back home next week after they traveled to Berry tonight over in Fayette County. Number 1 Wadley. You know, Berry shut out Spring Garden last week. There was no shutout tonight at Berry. Wadley 67, Berry 26. Wadley will be at home against Hackleburg in the North Alabama 1A championship game next Friday night at Curtis Lynch Memorial Stadium down in Wadley. Not good news tonight for Clay Central. Tommy Wood, voice of the Volunteers at Volunteers Stadium from the AHSA Radio Network. He will join us here within the next half hour, and we're going to talk a little bit about this game tonight. Played at Faulkner University in Montgomery. Number 2, Clay Central suffers their first loss to number 1 ranked Montgomery Catholic tonight, 21-9. Tommy is going to provide us with a complete recap of that game as he'll be joining us from Montgomery or on his way back to Clay County from Montgomery, one of the two. Later on this evening, Montgomery Catholic wins it 21-9 in the Class 5A quarterfinals. Also tonight, speaking of 5A quarterfinals, Clay Central in the south, Moody's in the north. We were at this game tonight. My crew was there tonight. We were very impressed by the Moody Blue Devils, number 4 team in 5A tonight. They rolled over Ramsey last year. We were at this game last year in the quarterfinals. It was a cold night at Bill Morris Stadium, and Ramsey won the game 40-27. Tonight, it was not that close. Moody rolling over Ramsey. They got their revenge 49-7. We will show you tons of highlights of that game, 35-7 when we left. So we'll show you the majority of the impactful highlights of that game from Bill Morris Stadium in Moody tonight in the Class 5A quarterfinals. And our last local team, the Cherokee County Warriors tonight on the road in Killen, up in Lauderdale County, taking on the Brooks Lions, the same team that knocked out Alexandria last week. Tonight, one of our East Alabama teams knocks them out. Number 3 Cherokee County goes to Brooks. They beat the Lions 21-14. Cherokee County, for the 3rd year in a row, will be in the North Alabama Championship game. They'll be back at home at Bobby Joe Johnson Field in Center next Friday night, where they will be taking on that same West Morgan team that knocked off Anniston tonight. All right, we're going to go ahead and let the cat out of the bag. Our Johnson's Giant Food Concession Stand of the Year. We've got a ton of folks, studio folks here to accept this. But before we do, we're going to take you all the way back to August. Mike Robertson Stadium at Hoax Bluff. Here they are. All right, Coach and Don, we are here at Hoax Bluff tonight. The famous barbecue nachos have had it here for years. And we're going to try a lot of items tonight. This is just the first of the items. Barbecue nachos, guys. Dig in. We got the cheese, barbecue sauce, homemade barbecue. Don, are they as good as they have been in the past?
Absolutely, John. The house that Coach Rob built here in Etowah County, I don't know if he had anything to do with this, but
you know what he needs to do? He needs to sell these down at the swimming pool in the summer. But this is good. This is real good.
Barbecue nachos. I mean, I don't know if you can even tell how good this looks. You certainly can't tell how good it smells. Fantastic stuff here. We got some more stuff coming, but that's the barbecue nachos here at Oaks Bluff. All right, so Coach, I usually don't participate, but I love Philly cheesesteak.
And the smell of
awesome.
And the smell of it is awesome, and the looks. Oh my goodness! Are you going to eat that whole thing in one bite?
It's hot.
Well, all I can say is
they brought this off the grill. This is hot.
And John Holder, here it goes. There it goes. What do we think?
That's as good a Philly cheesesteak as I have ever had anywhere. Oh, man. Awesome.
Well, you heard it right here first. High school football Alabama after the game host John Holder with a Philly cheesesteak sandwich.
At Oaks Bluff.
Yeah, at Oaks Bluff. Best he's ever had.
All right, guys, we've already been through Philly cheesesteak, barbecue nachos, and now we have chicken quesadilla. I mean, this is like we told you in our High School Football Alabama, the magazine, that a lot of these concession stands are like restaurants and good restaurants. Guys.
5-star restaurant.
All right, guys, here we go. Y'all going to try out the chicken quesadilla here. I saw them making this, and it is incredible. The chicken, you see the juice dripping off. What do you think, guys?
I think I need to run back to the studio after tonight.
I mean, it's all good. This is a 5-star restaurant, what this is.
I think he said it well. The 5-star Oaks Bluff Band Booster concession stand. We've got even more at Oaks Bluff tonight. This is the Philly cheesesteak quesadilla. So we've had Philly cheesesteak, we've had barbecue nachos, we've had chicken quesadilla, and now we have the Philly cheesesteak quesadilla. All right, guys, dig in. This has got the same ingredients it looks like. Look at the juice coming out of there. The same ingredients as on the Philly cheesesteak, except it's in a quesadilla. All right, guys, what's the verdict here? Don.
Awesome.
Unbelievable. Again, it's 5-star.
The other concession stands have going to have a tough time the rest of the year. Just an amazing job by the folks here at the Oaks Bluff Band Booster concession stand. Oaks Bluff High School is the Oaks Bluff Band Booster concession stand. They run 2 in the end zone here at Mike Robertson Stadium. John Dowser is the president of the Band Booster Club. I have to admit, I've never. Our guys are saying this is a 5-star restaurant. I have to agree. I've never seen anything quite like this whatsoever. Tell us about some of the items we had tonight, and we've got video of how you made it, and just tell us about the whole operation here.
So we have a very robust Band Booster Club here. We got a lot of parents who come out and volunteer their time and help us. As you can see, we got several men in here who help us. So what you had tonight was our chicken quesadilla, our barbecued pork nachos. You had a Philly quesadilla, which is something that was something that was requested by us at the end of last year, so we put it on the menu this year. And then you had our Philly cheesesteak. So the Philly cheesesteak is the one, anything that's Philly cheesesteak we make is the one that's our biggest seller. We'll cook anywhere from 100 to 150 of those a night. That's on top of the burgers, the hot dogs, and everything else we cook.
I'm telling you, folks, if you are in Oaks Bluff area, just come into the stadium and come to the concession stand. It's worth it. So all the money you make, and by the way, very reasonable prices on these things. All the money that you make from this, what's that go to fund with the band?
Funds and supports our high school band here, our marching band. So it helps with our school, with our program, instrument repair, our cost of our trips, any of the expenses that we have throughout the year.
Our guys feel like Guy Ferrari today. Like we're eating all this great food. You and your guys did a great job. Fantastic tasting food.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
John Dowser, president of the Oaks Bluff Band Boosters Club. They will get a $100 gift certificate courtesy of Johnson's Giant Food to help out with buying some of these ingredients at the concession stand. Some of the, just look at this. They've got great cooks there. We got a bunch of guests here we're going to show you in just a moment. There's the food cooking. Coach Short made it from Piedmont. They were flying. Our apologies to all the local law enforcement around the area. We were flying back to get Coach here from Piedmont tonight. These are experts. Coach, what's the terminology you use with them? 5-star?
5-star.
5-star.
Maybe 10-star.
Maybe 10. There's the Philly cheesesteak. There's John, the man himself. There's the barbecue nachos that we talked about. I mean, we knew as soon as we, immediately we knew this was going to be tough to beat Hoax Bluff. We walked out of there going, who in the world, look at that right there. My goodness.
I'm hungry now.
We were, that's the quesadillas right there. We knew almost immediately that Hoax Bluff was going to be really tough to beat. So congratulations once again to the Hoax Bluff High School Band Boosters. They are our Johnson's Giant Food Concession Stand of the Year, and we have a lot of great folks here with us tonight from Hoax Bluff live in studio. So let's show you all those folks right now. Coach is here with us. We've got Don Wilson, our other judge here. We've got John Dow. You already seen John already tonight, one of the chefs there. We have the band director here from Hoax Bluff. We've got some other folks here we're going to show you in just a moment. But first and foremost, Don, I'm going to let you show everybody the plaque and then present that to the Band Booster Club at Hoax Bluff.
Absolutely, John. We visited 11 concession stands this year in Hoax Bluff. The Band Booster Club was is the unanimous thing.
It was definitely no offense to any other concession stand.
If there was any doubt, if you just watched the footage, you know.
We had a great time at all these, and they all do great jobs.
Absolutely.
But there can only be one winner, and that one winner.
That's exactly right. It goes to the Hoax
School.
Bluff Band Boosters. Congratulations,
Thank you
guys.
very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, John, tell us before we go in depth here, introduce the band director to us, and then we got some other special guests over here on the green
So
screen.
this is our band director, Mr. Noah Garrett. He's been with us this is your second season. So our group we have over here, we have my daughter Lucy Dowser, Miss Valerie Bishop, Lana Cannell, Abby Bishop, Caden Bryant, I can't see around the camera, Lacey Duncan, Crystal Connell, and Riley.
And this is a combination of band members and band boosters, right?
These are some of their kids who are in our leadership. These also are some other of our Booster Club officers as well.
All right, so let's talk about this because, you know, it's not just to provide great food for the TV guys that come out. It's about providing a great service on Friday nights to the community, but it's also, most importantly, about raising money. So what the money, I think you're going to Disney, right? Got a trip to Disney coming up. That's not cheap. And so tell us about some of the funds that you raise and where that goes.
So a lot of the funds that we raise through the concession stand is what supports our band. This is what for the band to operate off it comes through the concessions. But we do a lot of fundraising for trips, for extra equipment, for anything that the band needs, just to help these kids be the best they can.
And I'm going to talk with the man over there, the director. One, your band did a great job this year. I've seen them 2 or 3 times this year at various games. And just tell us first about this trip that's being funded to Disney World that you got coming. That's springtime, is that right?
Yep, April.
April.
This April we're going with Etowah County natives, us, Hoax Bluff, Glencoe, and also Gaston. We're all joining together, and all of our bands are going to Disney, and we're going to march down in Magic Kingdom together.
That's awesome. Wow. And a lot of that, I'm assuming that maybe is not possible financially without this concession stand. Is that right?
Absolutely. Every bit helps every kid be able to march to Disney.
Awesome. So I'm assuming that, and we're going to maybe show these folks again over there. We'll give them some more FaceTime over there. I'm assuming that the Band Booster Club and the band, you work hand in hand, right?
Correct. We work with Mr. Garrett. He helps us. He tells us what he needs. We try to make it happen for him, whether it's new equipment, show music, props, just about anything that we need. We try to work with him, try to raise the money for whatever he needs to help these kids.
Absolutely. As we look once again over here at our folks on the screen over there, These are your leaders, right? The band members. This is kind of, we have captains in football, and I'm assuming this is the equivalent of that. These are the leaders of the band, correct?
Yeah, these are the ones that are extensions of myself. I couldn't do it without them. They help me keep everybody in line and help teach the younger ones.
So I've got to ask this question here, by the way. I never participate, rarely ever participate in the concession stand, but I did this time off the chart as far as the food goes. You told me that some of the items we had this year were new by request and things like that. So do you have anything new for next year that you've got maybe working in your mind to unveil next year at Oaks Bluff?
Well, the person who comes up with the menus,
oh, she's
Miss
over here,
Lacey
right?
over there.
Well, pressure here.
She comes up with it, and we just make it work. We figure it out. The Philly cheesesteak quesadillas and the Philly cheese. One season, I showed up to start cooking. She said, "We're going to do Philly cheese this year." I said,
"Thank you."
Bless you.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
And
that's one of the best things I've ever had in my life.
I told her, I said, "I've never cooked Philly cheese." She said, "Figure it out." So we did.
You figured it out. If you ever need a taste tester, just call me. I'll help you. I'll take care of that for you.
You know where to find me on Friday nights. Come on.
Great food. It just really unbelievable. Just the quality of the food, the hard work you guys put in. The night we were there, it's in August. It's hot. They're over the grill, over the griddle, and all those kind of things. So congratulations.
Portions are good too.
Oh, yeah. Sweet tea, that's sweet tea.
Yes.
And the things we had were not the only things. They have, your regular concession stand fare, but it was unbelievable and very well deserving for our concession stand of the year. So I'm sure y'all put that up in the concession stand and enjoy that. Congratulations. Thank you for coming and being with us tonight here on After the Game.
Thank you very much.
Oaks Bluff High School, our Johnson's Giant Food Concession Stand of the Year. Time for our next Extra Point presented by Randy Wood, State Representative out of District 36. We got a few extra points for you tonight. The largest school in the state of Alabama for the 2024 and 25 seasons is Auburn High School. For a small school guy like me, I can't fathom this. Auburn's enrollment is 2,217 students, just 7 students ahead of Hoover High School. Auburn actually gained 85 students from the 2022 to the 2024 reclassification. We come back, we got tons of highlights, scores, check in with Tommy Wood. We got another special guest coming later on tonight as we roll on this Football Friday night.
Tailgate season is here, and tailgate with a new Team One Chevy. With every test drive, you have the chance to win a new Team One Chevy tailgate package. With 1.9% financing and up to $10,000 discounts on all Silverados. Take a test drive with a chance to win a new tailgate package. Save big with Team One Chevy and be a winner. Remember, Team One Chevy, home of the best people, the best service, period.
McClellan Sports and Outdoors, locally owned and operated since 2008. We offer embroidery, sublimation, and screen printing, and we stock a large selection of team equipment. We have a large showroom with tons of gear and shoes to get you and your family ready for your next activity. Adidas, Under Armour, Maui Jim, Evo Shield, Wilson, and more. We are located in the heart of Calhoun County, here to serve our region with all your athletic needs.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed Vertical Spirit debit cards. Now these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the F&M Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you.
Contact local agent Judd Edwards for your personal price plan today.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Terry Howell, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
High school football, Alabama after the game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission on this football Friday night. Let's tell you about our friends at Anniston Orthopedics. They bring you the cheerleading squad of the week. They bring you our Anniston Orthopedics score shirts for our team of the week from Ted's Floors and beyond. And they have their Saturday morning sports clinic open at 8 a.m. every Saturday morning in the Tyler Center in Midtown Anniston. You can see an orthopedic doctor, get x-rays. Most importantly, they'll get you back on the field or the court at this time of year as soon as possible. No need to suffer during the weekend. They're there to serve you. They have 6 highly skilled, kind, and experienced physicians and sports medicine trainers as well. Anniston Orthopedics, and that is, they have been great sponsors, again, since the very beginning of high school football, Alabama's After the Game. Right now, we're going to start running through the brackets now. We're going to begin, as we always do, in the smaller schools with our Chevrolet of Gadsden brackets, and let's go to Class 1A. Class 1A, we're going to begin in the South tonight. It was Maplesville, number 9 team in 1A. They rolled over Milry at Milry tonight, 42-7, an impressive win by the Red Devils. They will be taking on Elba. Elba routed Georgiana tonight. That game was at Elba. Elba wins the game 62-20. So next week, the South Alabama championship game will be Maplesville and Elba. The game will be at Maplesville in Chilton County. Number 9 Maplesville, number 4 Elba. Both teams come in 11-2. The North Alabama championship game in Class 1A next week will be at Curtis Lynch Memorial Stadium in Wadley. Wadley tonight on the road at Berry. They beat the Wildcats 67-26 tonight. Meanwhile, also over in Northwest Alabama, it was Hackleburg knocking off Lynn tonight. This was a battle of 2 region champions, but Hackleburg wins it 32-19. So next Friday night, number 1 Wadley, number 6 Hackleburg at Wadley. Wadley 11-0, undefeated. Hackleburg comes in with a record of 12-1. We move to Class 2A, and we begin in the South. Reeltown, the state runner-up last year. They were the South winners last year. Tonight in the quarterfinals, they win at home against Cottonwood, 42-20. They will get Highland home. Much anticipated matchup. Everybody thought this would be the matchup in the South, and it is. The Flying Squadron, number 1 ranked, now 12-0. They beat Ariton tonight, 44-13 down at Ariton in Dale County. So next week, what a matchup. Number 4 Reeltown, number 1 Highland home. Reeltown is 12-1, Highland home 13-0. That game will be in Tallapoosa County at Reeltown next Friday night for the South Alabama Championship in Class 2A. Coming to the north, Sulligent upending Winston County. This is the same Sulligent team who came in and beat Pleasant Valley. Tonight, they routed Winston County of Double Springs. Sulligent won the game 38-12 tonight in this game played over in Lamar County at Sulligent. Sulligent, surprising, they're 9-4. They lost 4 football games, but here they are in the North Alabama Championship game of 2A after that win over previously unbeaten Winston County tonight, 38-12. They will get Tuscaloosa Academy, who beat Pisgah tonight, 44-34. A lot of folks thought at the beginning of this year Pisgah might be the North representative. Then Coosa Christian, they were knocked out. And now you got Pisgah knocked out. So next week, these will be 2 teams that are from the same region. That's why the game will be in Tuscaloosa. Tuscaloosa Academy, number 6. Sulligent finished the regular season not ranked. 9-4 is their record. Tuscaloosa Academy 11-2. They played in the regular season. Sulligent upset Tuscaloosa Academy just a few weeks ago, 46-44 in double overtime. So this will be a revenge game for Tuscaloosa Academy as they will be hosting Sulligent for the North Alabama Championship in Class 2A next Friday night in Tuscaloosa on the eve of the Iron Bowl. And that's your 2A brackets, or 1A and 2A brackets, Team 1 Chevrolet of Gadsden. Coming up, we got a ton of highlights. We got more special guests, more brackets, and a whole lot more as we roll on a Football Friday night presented by the Calhoun County Commission.
The game-winning touchdown.
A goal line stand.
The perfect catch.
The perfect stop.
These are the moments that move you, but when a sports injury puts you on the sidelines, it's our job to get you moving again.
Aniston Orthopedic Associates is the longest-standing orthopedic practice in East Alabama, providing exceptional care to thousands of athletes.
Shaping the next generation of legends.
Dedicated to what moves you.
Aniston Orthopedic Associates, 8 a.m. Saturday Sports Injury Clinic. Every football season Saturday, 701 Layton Avenue, 3rd floor, Tyler Center.
What does it mean to be a community bank? At Noble Bank and Trust, it means you're more than an account number, you're a valued member of our community. Whether it's checking, savings, a loan, mortgage, or line of credit, Noble Bank and Trust meets all your banking needs with exceptional technology customized just for you while making you feel right at home. Make the switch to Noble Bank and Trust, and we will make sure you're taken care of from beginning to end. Noble Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
As a social worker, my cousin devotes her career to helping others. But when she was diagnosed with cancer, she was the one who needed help. She needed a hospital with an accredited cancer program and the latest in technology and care options. Plus, a compassionate team of doctors, nurses, and counselors with treatments that fit her schedule. So where did she find all that?
Right here at RMC.
We stand for Mother Nature, home sweet home. The best you, sunsets with friends, hustle, art that lasts, life's simple pleasures. You know, life has purpose when we stand for something. ATCU is now Emblem, a credit union that stands for excellence and community. But most of all, Emblem Credit Union stands for our members and what's important to them. We stand for you.
Wow, these guys are everywhere. I'm telling you.
Hey, you remember when we talked about doing some upgrades to the bathrooms and the floors?
I do.
Well, I think it's about time we check in to do it.
I know exactly who to call. They're everywhere.
From your kitchen, bathroom, living room, fireplace, or anything in between, even the golf course, Ted's is everywhere. Call today for your free in-home estimate.
We hope you've enjoyed this entire football season, seeing our Red Thread Stay Put preview box. When we go to break, you're not only enjoying hearing about our great sponsors, but also you're getting to see a little behind the scenes of what goes on here, the chaos on a football Friday night. That's brought to you by Red Threads, powered by O-Brand. They have a storefront on the square in Jacksonville. Great selection of quality JSU and high school merchandise. A lot of great things in there on the square in Jacksonville. If you're going to the Sam Houston State Jack State game tomorrow at JSU, stop by either before or after the game. It's an early start at 11 a.m. and check those folks at Red Threads out and let them know you appreciate them and see what. Grab you some great Jack State merchandise. They also do screen printing. They do a great job. They provide us with our Aniston Orthopedics score shirts for our Team of the Week and also our Young Oil Muscle Team T-shirts as well. All right, we're coming back here on high school football, Alabama's After the Game, and we've got that man right there, Tommy Wood is making his way back from the Montgomery Catholic Central of Clay County game. Of course, Tommy, well known, one of the best play-by-play and stadium voices in the state of Alabama. Be working the Super 7 this year again on the AHSA radio network, calling state championship games on the state network from Protective Stadium in Birmingham. And if you go to games at Volunteer Stadium, you recognize the voice, one of the best stadium announcers in the state of Alabama, if not the best. Tommy Wood. Tommy was at the game tonight between Montgomery Catholic and Central Clay County, played at Faulkner University in Montgomery. Tommy, I'm assuming you're on your way back to Clay County, correct?
Absolutely. We are headed back, and not at a car lot this time. We were able to find a little better place and chat with you a little bit. But yeah, we are headed back. Not a good night for Falls fans, but great.
Well, a great season, though, for Central Clay County, rising all the way to number 2. Tonight was a number 1 versus number 2 matchup. You don't always get those matchups many times, especially in the playoffs. Not even the state championship games. A lot of times you get 1 versus 2. So a special night tonight. Walk us through the game tonight. I'm sure a great atmosphere down at Faulkner University.
Well, absolutely. And they moved that off of the stadium. It was a great the gate. My wife and I got there. We were on the visitor side there, and but volunteers off that on the home side over there as well. So great crowd, great there. Catholic late arriving crowd. They had, it was really a dominated game early on. Nobody could get a first. Both defenses. Well, Montgomery Catholic missed the field goal. We dodged the bullet there. Kicked a field goal of our own. Had the momentum. Final minute or two first, and they hit a nice long run, and then our fade pattern for a 7-3. They took the locker room. Were able to put together a couple of drives in the second half. Stop fourth down inside the 5 times in the second half. It was, again, Montgomery Catholic, incredible chance, and they proved it tonight. Final score, we scored late, did not get it on. Again, 9 final score.
21-9 the final. Tommy, let's talk about Clay Central here. A great season. 12 wins coming into tonight's game. Another region championship, back-to-back undefeated seasons. 10-0 last year, 10-0 this year. Only 17 schools in the state finished out of about 390 schools with undefeated seasons. Clay Central was one of those. An awesome team this year. And as you and I were talking about earlier this week, Clay Central probably not going anywhere for 2025. You're losing some great players, but you got a lot coming back next year too, right?
Well, we look here, but the offense back with the senior on the offensive front, pretty much entire deep backing core. One there, front 7 strong. Got to find Terry. We got one turning there, and then for quarterback, good folks, but one of those where nobody the front be better this year. Just got to find guys to run.
Tommy, before I let you get out of here and enjoy your drive back up Highway 9 to Clay County, folks will be able to tune in and listen to you call games, which is always a treat on the AHSA radio network here in a couple of weeks at the AHSAA Super 7 at Protective Stadium in Birmingham. You've already got your lineup of games. Tell folks the games that they can tune in and listen to you call.
Well, I'll join Caleb that Wednesday night. Then come back in the morning. 3A game, and I'll do the 4A as well. I'm doing the producing for the rest of the games. I'll be in the press box the entire time, but again, those will be the games that I'll have: 7A, 3A, and then 4A.
All right, awesome job. As always, I know I'll be tuned in and listening, as I have for many, many years, to you on the AHSA radio network. Enjoyed being down at Volunteer Stadium last Friday night, hearing you get the crowd riled up for that Williamson game. It was a great atmosphere down there, And Tommy, have a safe trip back with you and your family to Clay County this evening. Thank you for joining us on After the Game.
Thanks for having me, John. You enjoy the show, man.
All right, Tommy Wood from the AHSA Radio Network and Clay Central giving us a report, first-hand report from that Clay Central and Montgomery Catholic game tonight. Montgomery Catholic ends the season for Central of Clay County 21-9, the final tonight from Faulkner University in Montgomery. We've got another nominee number 2 now in our Northeast Orthopedics Game of the Year. We're going to announce the winner of this as voted by you a little bit later on tonight. Here's our second nominee. This also goes back to week number 1 of the high school football season. Piedmont and Cherokee County. This was a game played at Bobby Joe Johnson Field in Center. You can see it's still daylight back in those days, the early part of this game here. What a great matchup, Battle of Highway 9. It was a game that Piedmont won 34-27, back and forth game that came down all the way to less than a second, a tenth of a second left to play in the game. This was the game-winning touchdown pass by Piedmont right here. Jordan Smith covered it, caught it, and that is nominee number 2 in our Northeast Orthopedics Game of the Year, Piedmont and Cherokee County from week number 1 of the high school football season. We'll show you 3 more nominees and then the winner a little bit later on tonight right here on After the Game. Time now for our next Randy Wood, state representative out of District 36. Extra point. We got a few extra ones here on this last show of the season. The smallest school in the state, this is more my size, in the AHSAA is A.L. Johnson High School in Thomaston in Marengo County over in West Alabama. The Eagles only have an enrollment of 37 students in the top 3 grades. The smallest football playing school in the association is the Alabama School for the Deaf right here in Talladega with 41 students. The smallest football playing public school is J.F. Shields High School in Beatrice down in Monroe County with just 53 students. Tons of highlights, tons of brackets, a lot more headed your way as After the Game rolls on a Football Friday night.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Terry Howell, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
At Jacksonville State University, the journey starts with you. It begins with your ambition, your curiosity, your dreams. Here, you forge your own path. You have the power to make a difference, explore new horizons, and turn your passions into your future. At Jack State, we journey forward together. The journey starts with you.
We stand for Mother Nature, home sweet home. The best you, sunsets with friends, hustle, art that lasts, life's simple pleasures. You know, life has purpose when we stand for something. ATCU is now Emblem, a credit union that stands for excellence and community. But most of all, Emblem Credit Union stands for our members and what's important to them. We stand for you.
Tailgate season is here, and tailgate with a new Team One Chevy. With every test drive, you have the chance to win a new Team One Chevy tailgate package. With 1.9% financing and up to $10,000 discounts on all Silverados. Take a test drive with a chance to win a new tailgate package. Save big with Team One Chevy and be a winner. Remember, Team One Chevy, home of the best people, the best service, period.
The game-winning touchdown.
A goal line stand.
The perfect catch. The perfect stop.
These are the moments that move you, but when a sports injury puts you on the sidelines, it's our job to get you moving again.
Aniston Orthopedic Associates is the longest standing orthopedic practice in East Alabama, providing exceptional care to thousands of athletes.
Shaping the next generation of legends.
Dedicated.
Dedicated.
Dedicated to what moves you.
Aniston Orthopedic Associates, 8 a.m. Saturday Sports Injury Clinic. Every football season Saturday, 701 Layton Avenue, 3rd floor, Tyler Center.
We are less than a week away from Thanksgiving. And if you're thinking, oh boy, Thanksgiving has just creeped up on me and I've made no plans, Dad's Barbecue has the answer. See them on McClellan Boulevard in Anniston because they have hickory smoked meats. Maybe you want turkey, maybe you want ham, chicken, traditional favorites there, but also they have barbecue and ribs. How about switching it up a little bit for Thanksgiving? Plus, they've got all the great sandwiches, the breads, they've got the side items that you'll need. They can completely do your Thanksgiving meal. They can also do your Iron Bowl meal next week. If you're going to get together and have a big party for the Iron Bowl, they can do that as well. If you're going to watch football tomorrow night, watch Auburn, Texas A&M, Alabama, Oklahoma tomorrow night. Let dads take care of that as well. They've got everything, even down to their fantastic sweet tea that they cook fresh in a kettle every day. Dad's Barbecue and Top of the River bringing you our media center. We're coming to you live tonight from Parker Memorial Baptist Church. Great partners of high school football Alabama after the game right here in their studio on Quintard Avenue in Midtown Anniston. John Holder and Michael Short back with us. Coach Short is. We just got everybody hungry, showing all that good food from the Hoax Bluff concession stand. Yeah. Now we're going to talk some more brackets. We're going to go through some brackets and get Coach's perspective on this. Probably tonight, you and I were talking earlier, this is my favorite round of the playoffs, is the quarterfinals. I didn't think we'd see any upsets, but we saw some upsets tonight. And most of the upsets that we saw are surprises maybe, came in 3A and 4A. So let's go look at the Class 3A bracket as we go to our Team 1 Chevrolet of Gadsden brackets. In the South, in Class 3A, maybe the surprise team in the state this year in all 7 classifications is Southside of Selma. They came out of nowhere, did the Panthers, and now they're in the South Alabama championship game. Tonight, they were playing at home. They beat a solid Bayside Academy team out of Daphne, 26-24. They will take on Houston Academy of Dothan. A little bit of a surprise here. Houston Academy goes into Bruton tonight at Bruton Municipal Stadium. They beat the #1 ranked Tigers. No one had even challenged T.R. Miller this year. Houston Academy goes in and wins it 17-14, knocking off #1. So next week it will be Southside of Selma, unranked at the end of the regular season, taking on a team that was barely ranked, #10 Houston Academy. That game will be in Dothan. Southside of Selma 11-2, Houston Academy 12-1 in the North. And we're going to have complete highlights of this game, all the post-game reaction coming of the Piedmont Fife game as we go to the North now in our brackets. Piedmont in overtime held off Fife on a 2-point conversion, 30-28 tonight at the Field of Champions. Complete highlights and post-game coming. Piedmont #2 in 3A, now 13-0. For the first time in the playoffs, they will be on the road next week. It'll be a tough task as they will travel to Florence to take on Mars Hill Bible. Mars Hill tonight won at home against Winfield, 28-13. Mars Hill Bible #4, Piedmont #2. Mars Hill 12-1, Piedmont 13-0, and that's your Class 3A brackets right there. Let's go to Class 4A, and in the South, it was St. Michael Catholic continuing to win. They have made 2 consecutive trips from Baldwin County to the Birmingham Metro. St. Michael Catholic beat Fairfield 42-25 tonight in Fairfield. And Jackson tonight, they rolled over Tallahassee 41-10 down at Legion Field in Jackson. So next week, it's a rematch of a regular season game. Jackson will be back at home at Legion Field. Jackson #1. St. Michael Catholic #5, St. Michael 12-1, Jackson 12-1. They played in the regular season. Jackson blew St. Michael out 55-16 in their regular season meeting. Here's the rematch at Jackson. Coming to the North, the Cherokee County Warriors, for the 3rd year in a row, will be in the state semifinals. They won at Brooks tonight in Killen, 21-14. They'll get West Morgan. This is a rematch of a 1-point quarterfinal round game last year that was played at Trinity. West Morgan tonight beat the Anniston Bulldogs 50-20. So next week, It's a rematch, as we said. The difference this time is in the semifinals, and it will also be at Bobby Joe Johnson Field in Center. West Morgan comes in 13-0, ranked number 4. Cherokee County ranked number 3, 12-1. Their only loss to that Piedmont team, who's also in the state semifinals in Class 3A. That will be the matchup at Bobby Joe Johnson Field and Warrior Stadium next Friday night. So as we bring it back, I just dropped all my papers here, but we'll pick those up in a moment. Coach, 3A, 4A, let's talk about it.
Well, it's a surprise, like you said, we mentioned 3A a while ago, and you've got south side of Selma. To me, they remind me a lot of maybe last year when you had Booker T. Washington. Booker T. just kind of showed up last year and started upsetting all these people, and that's probably the same way with them. They've always had athletes. It's just a matter of putting it all together at the same time. I mentioned last week before we left the show about Houston Academy. There was a heck of a reunion tonight with all those former coaches from T.R. Miller that coach at Houston Academy now. So as far as going in there and the mystique of T.R. Miller and that kind of stuff, I guess their players said, well, heck, all these guys have coached here and won state championships there, along with Don Jacobs, who's their offensive coordinator. Don Jacobs told me when the season started they had a very good opportunity and a good chance to maybe make it to Birmingham. So it's not a surprise for them, and it really wasn't for me knowing their staff. You know, and then I come to the north. I guess, I got to get my mind here on games. The game I saw tonight was unbelievable. As far as, overtime, oh, golly. I mean, what it came down. Blue Bloods everywhere. Fans getting after it. I mean, enjoying it. But I want to say this. Both teams, to be as physical a game as it was, are very, very classy. I mean, they're going to help each other up. You know, Kiss and Fife are going to help each other. And they're literally trying to knock each other's helmet off and trying to kill each other. But that was there. Prayers after the game. You know, that was some good stuff right there.
I think, Coach, if we went back to August and we said the North Alabama Championship game in 3A is going to be Piedmont and Mars Hill Bible, people would have said, yeah, I'd see that. Yeah. That sounds about right. That's doable. If you'd have said the South Alabama Championship game is going to be south side of Selma and Houston Academy, no one would have picked that. No one picked that matchup in the South.
No, and I think you better keep your eye on Houston Academy more and more. Just like we're going to, in 4A here, we're going to talk about the other group that I think you better start keeping your eyes on. It's St. Michael.
And because Gunnar Rivers is only a sophomore.
He is, and they run a lot of NFL concepts. Why? Because the head coach right there, played in the NFL for a long time, and those things are hard if you got the kids, and you know they're going to be very smart. I think that St. Michael's Catholic is going to be a whole lot like UMS Wright was in 4A before they had to move up. So they better get all they can before they have to move up too, because they're one step away from making it to the finals, which the next time could push them up to another classification too.
Because of competitive balance. Again, 4A, I think at the beginning of the season, most everyone in 4A probably thought in the north, Cherokee County, West Morgan. I think that's the matchup everybody thought was going to happen. Even though West Morgan lost a lot of folks, they had a lot coming back. I think that's not a surprise. And, of course, everybody expected Jackson to be where they are. And I think a lot of folks, especially in southwest Alabama, will talk with Gerhard Mathangani coming a little bit later on down in Mobile. He'll give us some insight in this. But I think the folks down there knew St. Michael was going to be good. So not a whole lot of big surprises here in 4A. If you told me back in August, Jackson, St. Michael, okay, I can see that. And then I think everybody sort of expected that it was going to be Cherokee County and West Morgan.
The biggest thing for me on West Morgan was they lost 19 seniors last year, and 4 of their 5 starting offensive linemen graduated. So those guys are gone. And they have done an excellent job of replacing those offensive linemen and just carrying over where they were last year. So I think it will be a great football game at Cherokee County next week because the coaching staff at West Morgan has done a great job, and they probably have a little chip on their shoulder with the way it ended last year.
Yeah, very, very competitive game to say the least. 28-27 at Trinity. Cherokee County won it in the quarterfinals.
That's right.
This time it will be the North Alabama Championship game in Center. So some great games coming up next week. East Alabama still well represented, and it's going to be a great night of football all around the state next Friday night.
I haven't seen every score, but was there any other overtimes besides the one that I got to witness
tonight? Only overtime, there were some close games tonight, but the only overtime we had was the game that you and Jordan were at tonight at the Field of Champions.
And history tells me in the third round, the round that me and you liked the most, is usually where your most competitive games are. Just about every one of them are. Every once in a while you have one, and it's usually where you've got a 4 seed or a 3 seed that's made it to the third round. But mostly it's 3-point games.
I'll say this: there are some games in the quarterfinals that includes tonight around the state that, in essence, will wind up having been the state championship game.
Oh, yeah, very well could be. We've said
and the
that
game
before.
that you were at tonight might be one of them. Could be.
You never know, but because if they can get over, they're going to have to really take care of some people because they was beating up each other tonight.
Absolutely. We'll be back with more of high school football Alabama's After the Game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission as we roll on this final show of the year, a Football Friday night, here on Facebook and YouTube.
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you.
Contact local agent Judd Edwards for your personal price plan today.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So show off your colors and support your local school with the F&M Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
I can't imagine life without Gwen, but we came dangerously close.
I was having chest pains.
Luckily, there was a hospital nearby that quickly discovered one of her arteries was 100% blocked. A hospital with life-saving technology and the latest in cardiac treatment, with an experienced team of doctors and nurses focused on fixing Gwen's heart. What hospital had all of that?
It was all right here at RMC.
Your home is a reflection of you.
We understand that. That's why we'll personally help guide you through the process of product selection, finance, and installation. We have an extensive selection of designer tile, stone, carpet, laminate, hardwood, cabinets, and outdoor products, all with industry-leading quality.
Let us help you choose the perfect touches for your entire home. We offer free in-home estimates and design consultations.
Visit us today at Ted's Floors and Beyond.
What does it mean to be a community bank? At Noble Bank and Trust, it means you're more than an account number, you're a valued member of our community. Whether it's savings, a loan, mortgage, or line of credit, Noble Bank and Trust meets all your banking needs with exceptional technology customized just for you while making you feel right at home. Make the switch to Noble Bank and Trust, and we will make sure you're taken care of from beginning to end. Noble Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
All right, Johnson's Giant Foods. You saw earlier we presented Hoax Bluff, the Band Booster Club, with our concession stand of the year. Johnson's throughout the year, let me tell you, they gave out $1,100 in gift cards to 11 different concession stands, $1,100 total, $100 each to every concession stand that we had as our concession stand of the week. Great supporters of high schools here in East Alabama. And they're your answer to football tailgating. Let me tell you, folks, if you tomorrow you live anywhere in Etowah County, go to East Gadsden, go downtown Gadsden, go to Attala. If you're in Calhoun County, head out to Coldwater, go to Jacksonville, check them out, get all the stuff you need. Maybe you're going to the Jack State game tomorrow with Sam Houston. You need some tailgating. It's going to be a beautiful day, a little on the cool side. Go out to Johnson's. They've got the chicken fingers. They've got they got the ribs. They got anything you want out of the deli. They've got all the meats. If you want to grill out at your tailgate, do that tomorrow. If you're going to stay at home tomorrow night, you don't want to cook, you just want to sit back and watch the Auburn Texas A&M game, you want to sit back and watch Alabama and Oklahoma, all the other college games, just go by Johnson's. They will take care of you. And all throughout the week, their deli is open daily with a full hot bar. Johnson's Giant Food, bringing you our concession stand of the year. All right, we are up to nominee number 3 in our Northeast Orthopedics Game of the Year. And we're going to announce the winner tonight as voted by you at our Facebook page, High School Football Alabama. Here's the third nominee. This was another great game out at Death Valley in Alexandria, middle of the season. Alexandria trailed in this game 27-14. Alexandria scores, cuts it to 27-21. They get an onside kick, go down, and they score very late at the end of the game, about a minute to go in the game. Kick the extra point by Cleet Forest, and they win the game, a upset at the time, as Hokes Bluff was ranked in the top 10 in the state, and Alexandria beats them by a score of 28-27. Northeast Orthopedics Game of the Year nominee number 3, the Hokes Bluff Alexandria game out at Death Valley. Back on High School Football Alabama's after the game. Got another, we told you we had some surprise guests from all over coming in. We had Robert Smith in tonight. We had Tommy Wood coming back from Montgomery tonight. Now we've got a guy making his first appearance, Kevin Moore from Asheville, Alabama. Kevin, how are you?
You had me follow those guys. I mean, come on. I mean, those are legends, and I'm sitting here, you know, just enjoying the football, just on the show in football season.
Well, Kevin, you do a show also on Facebook during football season. Tell us about the show that you do, high school football related.
It's called Kevin's Corner, and basically it's different from your regular prediction show. Not only do I predict the games, but the team, but I predict the score. And for you Piedmont fans out there, I predicted 32-26, Piedmont over 5.
Pretty close.
So of course,
did you predict overtime?
No, I did not. So of course, I also picked T.R. Miller. So you know, it's not everybody's perfect.
You should have asked me.
Well, that's
I had some inside info on that game.
That's why I say he provides me great information, but I just had a busy week and just didn't get a chance to talk to him. So.
But he won something, right?
Yeah, he won he had a trivia question, and the trivia question was in the history series between Fife and Piedmont, how many times who leads the series? And within not even 10 seconds, he goes, Fife was 3-0. They had never lost to Piedmont until tonight. So. And so I had him a T-shirt ready made, so and had the sponsors on the back. So those of you interested, my show was over for the year because I just didn't want to go past the semifinals, but I'll be doing it again next year. So.
And where do folks go to find it?
Yeah, just go to Facebook / Kevin Moore Music because I'm also a musician as well. So and I do it every Thursday, usually around 5 o'clock during football season.
Have you you just said a musician?
Yeah.
And I've heard you play. And just give us an idea of some of the places that you've played at. You've played in some big venues, in some before big ball games.
Yes.
A great saxophone player.
Yes.
Plays the saxophone. Plays the national anthem on saxophone. Nothing else. Just him and the saxophone. And it is incredible.
Been blessed enough to have played the national anthem at least one basketball game for the University of Alabama for the last 17 years. So. And I'm actually scheduled this January to play the Ole Miss game in a couple of months. So hopefully that'll. And it's worked out now. Used to when I first started playing, we lost every game, but of course it's because of Nate Oates. They started winning now. So.
And you've done some high school games too to open up some national anthems.
Yes, this year recently I did the Coosa 5 football game, and I've done a couple of basketball games as well. So I just.
At the Alabama State Officials Hall of Fame.
That's right.
The Etowah County Sports Hall of Fame. Just all kinds of things.
And the St. Clair County Sports Hall of Fame. So.
Absolutely.
And also tell us that you don't just do that, but you also can play at Christmas gatherings.
Yes, Christmas. This is Christmas time of year. You know, if you want to have a saxy Christmas, you can message me on Facebook, and I can work something out to play at your party. So.
He's wearing green. Now, this is not the shade of green exactly of the Asheville Bulldogs, but there is no one more passionate or more knowledgeable about Asheville high school football than Kevin Moore. I'm right. There's nobody that knows more.
There's one out there.
No, I don't know now.
He was with me last time he came up here. But like I said, especially the last 40 years anyway. So, like I said, Asheville's a great place. It's home. But like I said, we've kind of struggled recently in football, but we're making some changes to get that back.
Well, you got a head coaching opening, and so I think they're looking to fill that pretty soon. We're not going to get into rumors and things.
Right. Oh,
but
yeah.
There are some big names out there, though, that might be coming to Asheville, Alabama, possibly. But it'll be interesting to see who you have as the head coach.
I want to clear up, there was some confusion. They thought somebody had seen Nick Saban at the local barbecue place in Asheville, but so I want to clear that it wasn't him, it was another guy.
So you're saying that Nick Saban is not going to be the head coach at Asheville, right?
That's correct, and I'm hoping that scenario turns out like it did last time. He said that, something like that.
How about Kevin Moore? Is he a candidate to be the head coach at Asheville?
Oh, no, nowhere near. So, and also, I want to take a chance, speaking of St. Clair County football, I want to congratulate Leeds and Moody because they're county rivals, and we all give each other the hard time during the season. And pulling for a county rival in the playoff is like telling your mother-in-law you love her. It's just kind of you got to do you have to do it, but I want to congratulate Leeds and Moody because I think, if I'm not mistaken, this will be the first time that a St. Clair County team has been in a championship game since 1993 when St. Clair County beat Hazelwood.
All right, so the Battle of the Bridge next week at the Bill Morris Stadium in Moody, but a rematch between Moody and Leeds. I think Moody won the first time 38-22, so we'll see what happens in the rematch. Kevin, before we let you get out of here, again, give folks the website once again, or the Facebook page, because there may be some folks out there that might want to contact you to play at their event, their sporting event.
Thank you. You can contact me on Facebook.com/Kevin Moore Music. And you can add me as a friend, or you can send me a private message about playing at your event. So I'd be glad to work something out with you, and hopefully we'd all have a Merry Christmas. So.
All right, absolutely. Kevin Moore hanging out with us here on After the Game at our Dad's Barbecue, top of the River Media Center here at Parker Memorial Baptist Church on this. It's not the last football Friday night by any stretch, but it's the last football Friday night for After the Game. Right now it's time for our next, we're going to give you some extras tonight on our last show. It's time for our next Randy Wood, State Representative of District 36, Extra Point. A total of 69 schools switched classifications for football in 2024. Classes 3A and 4A had the most switches, with 18 new schools each switching into those two classes. Class 7A had the least new teams, with only 3 new schools moving up from Class 6A. When we come back, we're going to take it to another thriller tonight. We got the complete highlights of Oxford and Fort Payne next on After the Game.
The game-winning touchdown.
A goal line stand.
The perfect catch. The perfect stop.
These are the moments that move you, but when a sports injury puts you on the sidelines, it's our job to get you moving again.
Aniston Orthopedic Associates is the longest-standing orthopedic practice in East Alabama, providing exceptional care to thousands of athletes.
Shaping the next generation of legends.
Dedicated. Dedicated to what moves you.
Aniston Orthopedic Associates, 8 a.m. Saturday Sports Injury Clinic. Every football season Saturday, 701 Layton Avenue, 3rd floor, Tyler Center.
Tailgate season is here, and tailgate with a new Team 1 Chevy. With every test drive, you have the chance to win a new Team 1 Chevy tailgate package. With 1.9% financing and up to $10,000 discounts on all Silverados. Take a test drive with a chance to win a new tailgate package. Save big with Team 1 Chevy and be a winner. Remember, Team 1 Chevy, home of the best people, the best service, period.
What does it mean to be a community bank? At Noble Bank and Trust, it means you're more than an account number, you're a valued member of our community. Whether it's checking, savings, a loan, mortgage, or line of credit, Noble Bank and Trust meets all your banking needs with exceptional technology customized just for you while making you feel right at home. Make the switch to Noble Bank and Trust, and we will make sure you're taken care of from beginning to end. Noble Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
McClellan Sports and Outdoors, locally owned and operated since 2008.
We offer embroidery, sublimation, and screen printing, and we stock a large selection of team equipment. We have a large showroom with tons of gear and shoes to get you and your family ready for your next activity. Adidas, Under Armour, Maui Gym, Evo Shield, Wilson, and more. We are located in the heart of Calhoun County, here to serve our region with all your athletic needs.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Terry Howell, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
We've had a lot of folks in throughout the year on our Noble Bank and Trust post-game presser, including tonight, folks like Robert Smith in with us as well. Noble Bank and Trust is a community bank. They're community owned. That means they're not only local, but the decisions are made locally, and that is huge. They give back to the community. All the decisions are made here, not in Raleigh, not in Birmingham, not in Atlanta. They're made right here in East Alabama. Switching banks is easy. If you want to do that, they will hold your hand from beginning to end. I had some dealings with Noble Bank just this week, and they handled everything I needed just like that. Noble Bank and Trust bringing you our post-game presser on these Football Friday nights. Joined tonight for the first time by the man himself, Chad Barnett. He was out patrolling the sidelines with Charlie Hinkle tonight down at Lamar Field in Oxford. And I've got to take my hats off. I think people have been doing this for 3 weeks. Got to take our hat off to the Fort Payne Wildcats. Yeah. I don't think anybody thought that they would even be past the first round. People didn't think they'd make it past the second round. They go all the way to the quarterfinals, one of the top 8 teams in the state in 6A. And then they come in tonight, and I was surprised because I really thought Oxford was just going to have their way with Fort Payne. I'll admit that. I thought Oxford was going to win big tonight. Rat poison. I bought it. I ate it. Yeah. Fort Payne, and you were there for the whole game, really coming in and giving Oxford all they wanted tonight.
Yeah, very impressive on that. I think I agree with you, and I think most everybody that would talk about that game agreed. They didn't think that they would be able to hang with Oxford tonight. It's the first ever playoff meeting between these two teams. Of course, they were in region play a few years back, and they have played a good bit over the past. A win tonight would give the Wildcats their first semifinal round berth in the state playoffs in their history. Meanwhile, Oxford comes in tested and undefeated. This would be their 10th playoff team they have faced this season. Let's go to Lamar Field and check out the highlights and see how this one played out. We're going to start pretty quickly because Oxford did as well on offense. Mason Mims, he's going to find Jalen Taylor. This is his 3rd touchdown pass of the night for Taylor, and he's going to count him out for you. Oxford is up 21-13 at halftime. We're going to go now to the 3rd quarter as we go back to Oxford being on offense. This is going to be picked off. The pass is picked up by Riker Engel. It's going to be taken down. Ball goes out of bounds. Fort Payne keeps the ball. They're going to punch it in from 1 yard out for the touchdown. They're going to go for 2 here to tie it up. It's 21-19 at this point. 2-point conversion, though. It's going to be deflected away, and Oxford's going to have the ball back. But Oxford facing a 4th and down on the ensuing possession. This is going to be a run by Caleb Wynn. He's going to go left side, and Fort Payne stuffed it. Big play for the Wildcats. They're going to try and take the lead now with the ball, but they're facing a 4th down of their own. And Jalen Taylor with 3 touchdown passes already in the game and a beautiful play on the defensive side keeps it the Oxford's football. Now, here, check this out. A little trickery here. This play's going to lose 10 yards, but I want you to see the scheme of the play. Watch it again. This is the next play in the drive. Or, excuse me, a few plays later, faked it. It works. What a setup by the coach.
Yeah. First one we ran the reverse and they blitzed right into it. I mean, sometimes their call beats your call, you know, but that's the next thing we did was a play action off of it. We thought we could have a chance to get behind them on the post, and Jalen Taylor ran a good route, and Mason put it right there where he needed to.
So Fort Payne now with the ball, they're going to try and make something happen again. They do not go quietly into the night. This is the next drive, touchdown Wildcats, and they are down by 4 at this point. No, excuse me, 2. 28-26, Oxford with the ball with 3:46 to go. And this is when you have complete confidence in your senior quarterback And your senior receiver throwing the ball when they were going to be able to run out the clock. Nick Richardson with the play, Caleb Wynn with the run. They would eke out the clock and pull away with a victory tonight. What a night for those two. What a night for Oxford as they move on to the semis.
This is the 10th playoff team we've played this year, in our counting our 7 that we played in the regular season. So I mean, we're a hardened and tested team now. So I'm not surprised by anything that happened.
All right, so there you go, 28-26. Thanks for Coach Sam Adams talking to us after the game, but beautiful on that play there. We were talking about it. It wasn't back-to-back plays. There were about 3 or 4 plays in between, but it was the
setup.
It was a setup. It was a 10-yard loss. It looked like a big mistake. He comes back to it later in the drive. They bite on it. Jalen Taylor was almost unstoppable tonight at the receiver position, kept getting behind the Fort Payne defense. He did it 4 times tonight, 4 touchdowns, and made that big stop on 4th down on the defensive side. He played out of his mind.
I noticed on that play, I can come back to a couple plays later, they must have had a tendency to blitz because they were blitzing on that play, and that left that guy wide open.
Wide open.
And,
Yep.
well, that's something that's done in film work during the week to know that's going to happen, and it happens for you. I mean, you kind of smile when that kind of happens for you. You know, when everything you plan comes together. Did they have any big kicks tonight? Kids, Fort Payne always has
Fort
a
Payne
kicker.
did have, I think
Connor
he had,
Hughes, that's the
yeah, I
guy.
think he had about a 42-yarder or something like that whenever I was walking in because I got there a little bit late. Yeah, just a measly 42-yarder. But I mean, it was fun during halftime. I got to watch him, kind of warm up and kick and stuff like that. Kid's got a heck of a leg.
You know, people were sitting there saying, well, Oxford, we all thought they would win this game handily, but that's the kind of games you got to win in the playoffs. You never know what's going to happen on any Friday night. The ball bounces funny ways. I mean, that interception, and then the kid Oxford hustles and causes the fumble. Man, they was almost going to get it back, but that kid kicked it out of bounds, and they was able to retain it. But they made a couple more plays, and in their season they get another week. And everybody, I know they're saying, oh, now they're going to play Parker. They played Parker close last year, and I'm just telling you, and give a credit to the Wynn kid for last week leaving with a hip pointer, couldn't even get off the field. I didn't either. I thought
because he was in massive pain last week. Did not think he would play, and really want to credit him too, because you see they got the ball with 3:46 to go. Fort Payne's got the momentum. They just scored. They're gonna try it. They had all 3 timeouts, so that 4-minute offense for Oxford was monumental. I mean, down the stretch, Caleb Wynn, he may not have had that big burst tonight, but when they needed his tough yards on the ground to seal that win, he came up big. Saw the big pass from Mims to Richardson. But outside of that, it was mainly the Caleb Wynn show down the stretch, and he was the reason they were able to ice that one out.
And they had to have that because Pell City would not have to went far in order to get that big kicker a chance to win it with a field goal.
And I want to credit the Oxford football team as well, because back in August, I always speak about 2 weeks before the season starts to the Oxford Kiwanis Club about high school football. And I always point out teams I think that are going to do well. And I told the Oxford Kiwanis Club, and Coach Adams' wife was in there, sitting there, and I said, I think this is going to be the best Oxford team since 2019 when they won. I think this is a team that will go very deep in the playoffs. It's a team that will challenge for a state championship. So thank you, Oxford, for making me maybe looking like I know what I'm talking about a little bit from time to time. That doesn't happen very often, but they did in this situation. So guys, now here we are. There they are, challenging for a state championship. They are in the North Alabama Championship game of 6A. A tremendous challenge. I'm going to sound like Bill Curry here. A tremendous challenge and a tremendous opportunity, though, as they go to Birmingham next week to take on the Parker Thundering Herd. And Parker beat a Muscle Shoals team that I've seen play in person, 35-10 tonight. So I know they're very good. But as you point out, Coach, this was a 21-14 game last year in the second round overall in Birmingham. So this is it. The winner of this game is going to the Super 7.
Well, you don't hold anything back now. I mean, everything, every trick play, anything that they have will come out next week. The whole book, they're going to throw it all. The playbook's going to be thrown out. But the thing that Oxford does is they play to their strengths. They play their strengths on defense. They play to their strengths, on offense. And I just like to watch their games, just how well they run their offense. They're not going to try to line up and run over you.
Yeah.
But they run when they can.
Yeah, it's opportunistic, but Fort Payne did get in the backfield a lot in the second half and down the latter part of the second quarter. So Parker, they got them big boys up front, and that's going to be a big defensive line. The big challenge is going to be, can they block them and give Mims time to hit Richardson and Jalen downfield.
You'll be seeing a lot of man coverage, and they're going to be doing a lot of tunnel screens and things like that in order to get the ball out quickly and try to avoid that pass rush.
Yeah.
Should be a great game next week between Oxford and Parker. That game will be on the road in Birmingham, downtown Birmingham area. Birmingham hosting Parker High School, the Thundering Herd hosting the Oxford Yellow Jackets. So this is our last after the game of the year tonight. Tomorrow will be the last football game of the season at home for the Jacksonville State Gamecocks. As Sam Houston State comes in at 11 a.m. tomorrow. Jacksonville State bringing you highlights throughout the year here on After the Game. And let's tell you about Jacksonville State's athletic growth. They are on the rise. Their football team playing great right now. That's because they are investing in top-tier facilities, advanced training programs, a winning culture to become a powerhouse in collegiate sports, which they have certainly done. And the move to FBS, going to a bowl game last year, they'll go to a bowl game this year. More competition, more opportunities for student athletes to shine on a national stage. So at Jacksonville State, they're building champions on the field. They're building champions and leaders for life. And if you want to be a part of that, if you're an upcoming college student, Jacksonville State University, the friendliest campus in the South, schedule your visit at jsu.edu/visit. We're going to take you to Moody. We're going to take you to Piedmont. We're going to take you to more brackets, all still to come on After the Game.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now, these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the F&M Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
As a social worker, my cousin devotes her career to helping others. But when she was diagnosed with cancer, she was the one who needed help. She needed a hospital with an accredited cancer program and the latest in technology and care options. Plus, a compassionate team of doctors, nurses, and counselors with treatments that fit her schedule. So where did she find all that?
Right here at RMC.
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you.
Contact local agent Judd Edwards for your personal price plan today.
Wow, these guys are everywhere. I'm telling you.
Hey, you remember when we talked about doing some upgrades to the bathrooms and the floors?
I do.
Well, I think it's about time we check in to do it.
I know exactly who to call. They're everywhere.
From your kitchen, bathroom, living room, fireplace, or anything in between, even the golf course, Ted's is everywhere. Call today for your free in-home estimate.
We stand for Mother Nature. Home sweet home. The best you. Sunsets with friends. Hustle. Art that lasts. Life's simple pleasures. You know, life has purpose when we stand for something. ATCU is now Emblem, a credit union that stands for excellence and community. But most of all, Emblem Credit Union stands for our members and what's important to them. We stand for you.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Team sports, McClellan Sports and Outdoors. Go to McClellansports.com. They have over 100 schools that they service throughout the state of Alabama. They've got all the great brands that you know and you love: Adidas, Armour, Wilson, Rawlings, Rydell, The Game. They've got all that. They've got all your sporting goods needs. But they also are a sporting goods store. Beautiful stores we mentioned all throughout the year at 135 Exchange Avenue on McClellan, right across from the Longleaf Lodge, right across from the Aquatic Center with the City of Anniston out there. They've been in business here for 15 years, but just this year they opened up the McClellan Sports and Outdoors storefront, and it is fantastic. They bring you the jersey for our Player of the Week, and of course they also bring you highlights here on After the Game. Back on After the Game, high school football Alabama, this Football Friday night. John Holder, Coach Michael Short, Chad Barnett with us on this final Football Friday night for After the Game. We're going to go back to our Team 1 Chevrolet of Gadsden Class 5A brackets. We're up to 5A now. Going to take a look at that. And it was an interesting night in 5A. I think 5A, top to bottom in my mind, is maybe one of the best classifications this year. So let's go to our Team 1 Chevrolet of Gadsden 5A brackets. In the South, you heard Tommy Wood earlier give us a recap of that game. A defensive struggle. This was a 7-3 game for a long time. Montgomery Catholic kind of pulling away in the second half to beat Central Clay County tonight 21-9 in a game played at Faulkner University in Montgomery. They moved this off Catholic's campus to Faulkner's campus. I still don't think it was big enough. They still had to seat some of the Clay Central fans over on Faulkner's home side. And then Viger tonight, this was a rematch of a regular season game. They're in the same region with each other. Viger won the first time, and they won again tonight. Viger beating UMS Wright Prep by a score of 41-10 tonight in the rematch. When they played in the regular season, it was 30-14. So Viger actually, they say it's tough to beat the same team twice. Viger actually beat them worse this time. And it will now be, this is a huge matchup here. This is number 1 Catholic. They will be at home again, if we can go back to that. Number 1 Catholic, 12-0, taking on number 5 Viger. They are 12-1. These two teams have combined to 24-1. They'll play at Catholic next week. I don't know if they'll play this at Faulkner again or not. I would imagine Viger will bring a big crowd from down in Pritchard in Mobile County, but that will be a huge matchup for the South Alabama Championship in 5A. We bring it to the north. We'll have highlights of this game coming. My crew was there tonight at Bill Morris Stadium in Moody. It was the Bill versus the Hill. Ramsey calls themselves the Hill. Moody plays in the Bill. Bill versus Hill tonight. Ramsey beat them last year in the quarterfinals. I was there at that game. It was cold. This year, same round, it's cold. Every time I go to Moody, it's cold. Moody lost last year to Ramsey, 40-27. Tonight, though, it was all Moody. Moody 49-7 over Ramsey, and it was, I think we got a misprint here. That was actually Leeds who beat Corner. Leeds beat Corner 57-36. So we'll get that one corrected. It is Moody versus Leeds next week. That will be a rematch of a regular season game. They're in the same region. There's the corrected score. Leeds beat Corner 57-36 tonight. That game was played at Leeds. Had the two games in North Alabama were played about 5 miles apart tonight. And now these two bitter rivals, Battle of the Bridge, they call it. 411 boys. I heard 411 boys so many times tonight. They did play, obviously, in the regular season, being in the same region with each other, and it was Moody winning 38-22 the first time. Next week, it will be Moody back at the Bill, at Bill Morris Stadium, number 4 against number 9, 10-2 Moody, 11-2 Leeds for the North Alabama Championship. That's your semifinal game in the North. So, guys, I can tell you, and we'll talk more about this when we get to the Moody game, but Moody, I was very impressed tonight. They don't seem to really have a weakness. They've got a really steady quarterback in Charles Johnston. They've got a fantastic running back. We'll see a lot of the Meadows kid. They've got an elite wide receiver, probably the best wide receiver I've seen this year, who made the play of the year that we're going to see a little bit later on. And they obviously that big defensive front that they have, pretty good offensive front as well. Very opportunistic, forced a lot of key turnovers tonight. Kicking game, pretty solid as well. Well-coached team. They don't seem to have any weaknesses. It's a good football team.
Yeah, and the thing about them is they've played an unbelievable schedule. You know, they had Gainesville, and then they have Oxford. And it was supposed to play Auburn, but that's when we had a hurricane, so they didn't get to play that game.
Played Helena, who
And
was
played
good.
Helena. So they scheduled a very tough schedule, and for this one reason, to be able to get to where they're at and to try to have an opportunity to win it. But I go back to the Clay County game. I got to talk about my boys just for a little bit.
I was going to say,
It was
I know you've been blowing them all year.
It was 7-3 midway in the third quarter, Catholic. And Clay County had the ball on the 1 yard line and can't score. And Catholic took it 99 yards for a touchdown, and that was really what turned the game around.
So at the 1, is it first and goal? Is it second and goal? I mean,
Just told me they had the ball on the 1 yard line and didn't score.
Okay. Danny Horn's teams usually, when you got a yard to go,
Foot to foot, wishbone,
they're
whatever.
gonna find a way to punch in the end zone. So I mean,
What it told
that's
me-
just got to be incredible by Montgomery Catholic,
What
right?
it told me is how good their defense is, and
Yeah.
statistically, they've got a great defense, but they must have showed it tonight.
Yeah.
Because that's hard to do, to keep any high school team from going 1 yard, but especially Central Clay.
Yeah.
Montgomery Catholic, defending 4A state champion. And they won that game big last year against Madison Academy. And now moving up to 5A, they lost a lot of great talent, but apparently they're not missing the beat. In 5A, they've dominated. And I know you've seen them play, I've seen them play. Central Clay County, a top-level 5A football team. So for Montgomery Catholic to win that game by double digits, it tells me really how good Montgomery Catholic is. And then we know Viger. Viger's got #1 defense in the state, held Eufaula without a first down last week.
That's crazy.
This is
Like not even a penalty or something like
Well,
that. I mean,
yeah.
how's that possible? How do you do that?
I don't know how.
I've
I
never
think
heard of
it
that
may have been
in
a
all my
misprint.
years.
But I will say this, you've got two great defenses.
Fake news.
Two great defenses. Statistically,
Yeah.
I bet you the games is in the 20s, both
Yeah,
of
it'd
them.
be something like that. Well, I mean, that's when you get some defensive scores. You get a turnover
Yes.
down in the red zone, something like that. So the defense can be opportunistic and actually get you some points.
And
So that
Viger
makes
held
sense.
UMS to 10 points tonight. They beat them worse, as we pointed out, than they did the first time around. Not many teams have ever, in the last 20 or 30 years, beaten UMS 41-10.
And Viger is a team that they've been talking about all year anyway. Coach moves back. He's been there before. Yeah, we'll just see how it ends. But I just see Viger maybe making a trip up to Birmingham.
Yeah.
Gerhard will tell us about that in a minute. Because they're big, they're fast, and they're very physical.
And the thing about it is, we talked about, okay, back in August, you look at 5A, who's going to be the teams? I think this is exactly where most folks thought. I think most folks probably thought Montgomery Catholic, Viger, maybe Central Clay County. And then in the north, I don't think anybody's surprised Moody and Leeds.
Yeah.
So this is not a lot of surprises in 5A tonight.
The only thing is Central Clay is very youthful up front. And you can be physical all you want, but when you're youthful up front, a lot of times you face somebody that's just as physical, but they're older, that can be the difference in the ball.
Yeah.
We're getting close to announcing our Northeast Orthopedics Game of the Year as voted by you. We've got another candidate. We're running through all the candidates before we announce it. And candidate number 4 tonight, another great game. We picked what we felt like were the 5 best games here in East Alabama. And here's number 4 of the 5 that we picked, and this was a classic.
That was a great
A game that they'll be talking about forever in Etowah County. First meeting ever between the 2 largest schools in the county, Southside Gadsden City at Titan Stadium, late in the season, all kind of playoff implications, back and forth game. Southside kicks a field goal to take the lead in the game very late. Then we get back on defense, and here what happens is Gadsden City now down, there's the game-winning field goal right there, and then Gadsden City, last few seconds of the game, trying to come back, and what happens? They fumble the football, and Southside picks it up and returns it. The fumble for a touchdown to kind of seal it and make it 30-23, an all-time classic. So that is nominee number 4 in our Northeast Orthopedics Game of the Year. Time now for our next. We told you we're going to give you some extra points tonight. So we have another extra point coming courtesy of Randy Wood, state representative out of District 36. And here it is, Super 7 State Football Championships. We've talked a lot about that tonight. They will be at Protective Stadium in Birmingham this year. Championships begin on Wednesday, December 4th with the flag football. That's 2 games, small schools and large schools, and the 7A championship games. Thursday, December 5th will feature the 1A, 3A, and 5A title games. The order on that will be 3A at 11, 1A at 3, 5A at 7. And then on Friday, December 6th, the 2A, 4A, and 6A championships, same format, 4A at 11, 2A at 3, and the 6A will cap it off at 7 o'clock on Friday night at Protective Stadium. Back in just a moment.
How does that fit?
At Jacksonville State University, the journey starts with you. It begins with your ambition, your curiosity, your dreams. Here, you forge your own path. You have the power to make a difference, explore new horizons, and turn your passions into your future. At Jack State, we journey forward together. The journey starts with you.
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you.
Contact local agent Judd Edwards for your personal price plan today.
Tailgate season is here, and tailgate with a new Team One Chevy. With every test drive, you have the chance to win a new Team One Chevy tailgate package. With 1.9% financing and up to $10,000 discounts on all Silverados. Take a test drive with a chance to win a new tailgate package. Save big with Team One Chevy and be a winner. Remember, Team One Chevy, home of the best people, the best service, period.
What does it mean to be a community bank? At Noble Bank and Trust, it means you're more than an account number, you're a valued member of our community. Whether it's checking, savings, a loan, mortgage, or line of credit, Noble Bank and Trust meets all your banking needs with exceptional technology customized just for you while making you feel right at home. Make the switch to Noble Bank and Trust, and we will make sure you're taken care of from beginning to end. Noble Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
As a social worker, my cousin devotes her career to helping others. But when she was diagnosed with cancer, she was the one who needed help. She needed a hospital with an accredited cancer program and the latest in technology and care options. Plus, a compassionate team of doctors, nurses, and counselors with treatments that fit her schedule.
So where did she find all that? Right here at RMC.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Terry Howell, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
High school football, Alabama's After the Game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission. Fred Wilson, Danny Shears, Carolyn Henderson, Terry Howell, and Lee Patterson. They support all the school systems here in Calhoun County. They also support all the great events that go on in this county. Great with tourism. Just a couple of weeks ago, Danny Shears was on with us telling us about the economic impact that tourism is having. It's the greatest it's ever been in Calhoun County history. Just unbelievable the amount of folks that are coming in to places like Choccolocco Park. They're coming into the Chief Ladiga Trail. They're coming into McClellan, to the horse trails. They're coming into the museums and all the things that go on here in Calhoun County. And your Calhoun County Commission is behind all of that, doing a lot of good things, including bringing you high school football Alabama's After the Game. Back with Coach Michael Short and Chad Barnett. Time to run through some more brackets now as we go to our Team One Chevrolet Gadsden brackets. We will go to classes 6A and 7A this time. In Class 6A in the South, Pike Road and Hueytown. This was the defensive game of the night being played down in Montgomery County at Pike Road. The Patriots squeezed past Hueytown 11-8 tonight. Saraland, the #1 team and the favorite to win 6A. Of course, they were last year too and got beat by Clay Chalkle, but Saraland tonight beat an undefeated Spain Park team down at Saraland in Mobile County. Saraland wins it 45-19 tonight. An impressive win by the Spartans. So next week, Saraland will make the trip up I-65 from Mobile to Montgomery. Basically, Saraland and Pike Road. Saraland #1, ranked 12-0. Pike Road 10-3, unranked in the last ASWA poll. In the North, the game you just saw highlights of earlier, Oxford, #3 team in the state, beating Fort Payne tonight, 28-26 at Lamar Field in Oxford. And as we talked about, A.H. Parker, the Thundering Herd from Birmingham, they were at home tonight, and they pounded a good Muscle Shoals team, 35-10. So next week, it will be Oxford for the first time in the playoffs, and really for the first time in over a month. They will be on the road. They'll travel to downtown Birmingham to take on the Parker Thundering Herd. This is a #2 versus #3 matchup. Parker, #2, 12-1. Their only loss to Carrollton, Georgia at Legion Field at midseason. Oxford 13-0, undefeated. The North Alabama Championship game in Class 6A next Friday night. And we go to 7A, a little bit different here. 7A tonight was the semifinals. And they don't have a North and South anymore. There was a possibility, a strong possibility perhaps, that you could have had two teams from the same region. This would be the first time this would ever have happened, but it didn't. They could have played for the state championship. But Thompson tonight, they beat Enterprise. That game was in Alabaster, 31-7. And Central Phoenix City at home in Phoenix City tonight, they knocked off #2 Hoover, 17-7. So the more things change, the more they sort of stay the same. There's only about
Same old.
4 or 5 teams every year in 7A that realistically have a chance to win a championship. 2 of those 4 or 5 are these two teams right here. Thompson and Central Phoenix City, Wednesday night, December 4th. It is set, your 7A championship game at Protective Stadium in downtown Birmingham. #5, Thompson, 10-3. Central Phoenix City, 10-2, ranked #4. That Thompson 10-3 record, though, let me tell you, guys, the 3 games they lost were all by 1 point apiece and all in overtime.
Just good people.
I'm trying to think who I
Grayson,
saw.
Georgia.
Grayson, Georgia. Yeah, I was thinking.
Hoover.
I said Buford. It was Grayson.
Clay
Georgia.
Chalkville. Yeah.
I mean,
6A, 7A. Tell us about it, guys.
I mean, you look at Parker and Oxford. Next week, Parker does have a loss on the season, and again, like what everybody else was talking about, who they lose to?
Juju.
They lost to Gainesville, right? I mean, so Gainesville comes over.
Carrollton.
Carrollton.
Juju.
Yeah. So
and a lot more.
A lot of these
Not
Georgia
just Juju,
teams
but
came
a lot more.
over. A lot of these Georgia teams. I mean, you look at all the losses on these teams that are really good for Alabama. All of them are total losses from Georgia teams this year. But yeah, Juju, phenomenal quarterback. Comes and beats them. So, they've got an unblemished record in the state, in their classification. So I don't know. That's gonna be a fun one to watch. And that's the one that's on my radar for sure.
I looked at Spain Park. There's we talked a while ago at the beginning of the year. I would not give you Spain Park to be where they're at. But Coach Vakakis has done a good job. His daddy's Jim was a good friend of mine, and he's done an excellent job at Spain Park. I know they got beat tonight, but he's got them trending in the right direction. And again, it's another drop down from 7A to 6A. That gives them an advantage because they've been playing the Thompson, the Hoovers, and all them people, and now they've dropped down to a different class. But I still think that Saraland may be one of the better teams in the state, regardless of classification.
Could be. There's a lot of speculation just based on scores, having not seen them in person.
And
that
talent.
They may be, KJ Lacey, the quarterback, already committed to Texas. They got off defensive lineman going to Alabama. They have got a bunch of, they lost Ryan Williams. Everybody thinks, oh, you lost Ryan Williams. But, again, I think this is a hungry football team, too, because everybody thought they were going to win it last year, and they were mildly upset by Clay Chalkville in the championship game at Bryant-Denny Stadium. So I think that a lot of folks down in Saraland probably have, as you talk about, Coach, that chip on their shoulder a little bit. They want to get back and win the thing this time.
They went for it on 4th down, and down in the game went for it to win and went for 2.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is, if you've never watched a 7A game, a lot of people say that's just boring football. If you want to watch great athletes and as close to college level football as you can, then you need to go and take the time to go over there and watch a 7A football game. And 6A is very close too, But the 7A games, a number of athletes, you just open up the roster and look, Georgia, Texas, Alabama, Mississippi, it don't matter. That's where those guys are going. And you're going to get a good idea of what you're going to watch on Saturdays next year.
Like, what other program can lose a Ryan Williams a year early and still be walking into the state championship?
Hey, and he's only 17.
He's only 17. I have not heard that, Coach.
I hadn't either, but somebody told me a while ago. Maybe.
No,
You're going to see a wide receiver from Moody in just a moment who I'm going to say, I think he's only 16 because he's a junior. He might be 17. And you're going to see him make an outstanding play a little bit later on when we get to those highlights. We still got a lot of highlights coming your way. But right now, we're going to show you our last nominee at our Northeast Orthopedics Game of the Year. We're going to have a nice plaque that we're going to present to the winning school of our Game of the Year. And here's our last nominee. It's going to take you back to the second half of the season. Glencoe and Sachs playing out at Jack Stewart Field at Sachs. This was early on all Glencoe. Then later on in the second half, it was all Sachs, and Sachs had the lead. And all the way till the end, they were up 28-26, and then Glencoe scores late, and they win at what at the time was a very impactful game in that 3A Region 6 race as Glencoe wins the game 32-28 over Sachs as they score with about a minute and 20 seconds or so to go in the game, coming from behind multiple times to win the game. So that game between Glencoe and Sachs, that is our final nominee. You've been voting over the last 3 weeks. The voting ended today at 12 noon. And coming up in just a few moments, we're going to announce who is our Northeast Orthopedics Game of the Year. We'll be back with more in just a moment.
We stand for Mother Nature. Home sweet home. The best you. Sunsets with friends. Hustle. Art that lasts. Life's simple pleasures. You know, life has purpose when we stand for something. ATCU is now Emblem, a credit union that stands for excellence and community. But most of all, Emblem Credit Union stands for our members and what's important to them. We stand for you.
Your home is a reflection of you.
We understand that. That's why we'll personally help guide you through the process of product selection, finance, and installation. We have an extensive selection of designer tile, stone, carpet, laminate, hardwood, cabinets, and outdoor products, all with industry-leading quality.
Let us help you choose the perfect touches for your entire home. We offer free in-home estimates and design consultations.
Visit us today at Ted's Floors and Beyond.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed Vertical Spirit debit cards. Now, these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the F&M Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
The game-winning touchdown.
A goal line stand.
The perfect catch. The perfect stop.
These are the moments that move you, but when a sports injury puts you on the sidelines, it's our job to get you moving again.
Anderson Orthopedic Associates is the longest-standing orthopedic practice in East Alabama, providing exceptional care to thousands of athletes.
Shaping the next generation of legends.
Dedicated.
Dedicated to what moves you.
Addison Orthopedic Associates, 8 a.m. Saturday Sports Injury Clinic. Every football season Saturday, 701 Layton Avenue, 3rd floor, Tyler Center.
No greater supporters of high school football in East Alabama than the folks at Young Oil Company. Young Oil Company Grub Mart. You can go and get their Super Saver card, be a part of their Marathon Rewards program. They have great convenience stores all across East Alabama. They are in Center, in Piedmont, in Jacksonville, Southside, Oxford, Alexandria, Auburn, Opelika, all over Northeast Alabama. Check them out for all your gas needs, all of your fuel needs, all of your Oleo donuts at the Jacksonville location. The bags of ice, they're famous for that. And they're also famous for presenting our high school football Alabama after the game muscle team to that top offensive or defensive line all across East Alabama. Great supporters of high school football with high school football Alabama since the very beginning. Young Oil Grub Mart. Back on high school football Alabama after the game presented by the Calhoun County Commission. And we're going to announce it. We've been voting for about 2 or 3 weeks now online at High School Football Alabama's Facebook page. And now you, the viewers out there, you selected the game of the year. And I'll just tell you, this school turned out big. It was not really even close. Our game of the year, our Northeast Orthopedics game of the year, Ohatchee and New Hope. And why not? A game that was won on a Hail Mary pass on the last play of the game, 76-71 on the Creek Bank at Ohatchee. At the time, the highest scoring game in state history, going back over 100 years. What a game it was, a game that they'll be talking about in Ohatchee and all across the state of Alabama for many years to come. The Ohatchee fans really got online and showed out, and they voted the Ohatchee New Hope game as our Northeast Orthopedics game of the year. We got a nice plaque. We'll go out and present that to the folks out at Ohatchee and congratulate them on being our Northeast Orthopedics game of the year. Hard to beat that one.
How could that not be the game of the year? I mean, you got a game when both teams are in the 70s and then
a Hail Mary
to win it on a Hail Mary. I mean, that has to be the game of the year. As good as Southside and Gadsden City was.
And Cherokee County and Piedmont.
Cherokee County.
I've seen some great games this year. Some great offensive games and some great defensive games, and then some not so good offensive or defensive games. But that had to be a great one. Very fitting to win that one.
100%.
All right.
People showed out too.
Yes, absolutely. What we're going to do right now, we're going to go over every bracket, every score in the state of Alabama right now from the quarterfinal round. So let's go back one more time to our Team 1 Chevrolet of Gadsden brackets. I'm going to do this very quickly for you. Give you the matchups for next week. Maplesville, this is Class 1A in the South. Maplesville beat Milry 42-7. Elba a winner over Georgiana 62-20. So next week the matchup in Class 1A, the South Alabama championship game. That is going to be Maplesville and Elba. That game will be in Chilton County at Maplesville next week. Maplesville 11-2. Elba also comes in at 11-2. The North Alabama Championship will be right here in East Alabama at Wadley at Curtis Lynch Memorial Stadium. Wadley blasting Berry tonight on the road 67-26. Hackleburg beat Lynn tonight 32-19. So Hackleburg, the Panthers, will be coming to play at Wadley next week. Hackleburg is 12-1, Wadley 11-0. That will be your North Alabama Championship game in 1A. In Class 2A, it was Reeltown tonight, a win over Cottonwood 42-20. Highland Home, #1 team in the state. They won at Ariton 44-13. So next week, a huge matchup. Highland Home at Reeltown. Reeltown 12-1, Highland Home 13-0. In the North, don't think a lot of folks thought that we would see this matchup. Sulligent beat Winston County, who was undefeated, 38-12. Tuscaloosa Academy beat Pisgah 44-34. A rematch in the North Alabama Championship game. A few weeks ago, Sulligent beat Tuscaloosa Academy 46-44 in double overtime. So a rematch. This will be at Tuscaloosa Academy. Sulligent comes in 9-4, 4 losses against 11-2 Tuscaloosa Academy. In Class 3A, South Alabama Championship game, we'll see Southside of Selma playing at Houston Academy. Southside of Selma beat Bayside 26-24. Coach Short told us to watch out for Houston Academy. They beat T.R. Miller 17-14, beating the #1 team in the state on their home field 17-14. So Houston Academy will be hosting Southside of Selma next week. Houston Academy comes into that game 12-1. Southside of Selma 11-2 in Dothan next week.
I got a tidbit here, and nobody knows this except for me and one other guy. I just got a text. Houston Academy, Don Jacobs, offensive coordinator. First time ever from the press box, their headsets they've used all year long got jammed, and he couldn't call them. So he called the game, offensive coordinator, on his cell phone.
Really?
On his cell phone with the guy on the sideline. He said, "Thank God my battery stayed good."
Gotta love the improvisation. That's awesome.
North Alabama in Class 3A, Piedmont Bulldogs, Mars Hill Bible Panthers in overtime tonight. A 2-point conversion denied by Piedmont at the end of the game. They beat 5 30-28. That's our game of the week. We got the complete highlight package and post-game reaction coming. Also tonight, Mars Hill Bible beat Winfield 28-13 tonight up in Florence. Piedmont, for the first time in the playoffs, will be on the road traveling to Florence next Friday night to take on the Mars Hill Bible Panthers. Piedmont 13-0, Mars Hill Bible 12-1. Moving to Class 4A in the South, St. Michael Catholic beat Fairfield tonight 42-25. Jackson steamrolling Tallahassee 41-10. Next week, a rematch of a regular season game that Jackson won 55-16. The rematch takes place at Jackson next week at Legion Field. Jackson comes in 12-1. St. Michael also 12-1. That only loss coming to Jackson. In the North next week, again, this game will be right here in East Alabama. Cherokee County beat Brooks tonight on the road in Killen 21-14. West Morgan beat Anniston 50-20. West Morgan, Cherokee County, Bobby Joe Johnson Field in Center next Friday night. A rematch of the quarterfinal round game that Center won by 1 point last year over in Trinity. Cherokee County 12-1, West Morgan 13-0 in that game next week. Class 5A in the South, Montgomery Catholic beat Central of Clay County in a 1-2 matchup tonight. Catholic moves to 12-0 on the season. They'll get Viger. The Wolves tonight beat UMS Wright Prep for the second time this year, 41-10. So next week it will be Viger traveling to Montgomery to take on the Knights. Catholic 12-0, Viger at 12-1. In the North, another rematch of a regular season game. Moody beat Ramsey tonight 49-7. We still got highlights of that game still to come. And Leeds beat Corner tonight 57-36. So next week, Leeds and Moody, bitter arch rivals, same region, playing at Bill Morris Stadium in Moody. Moody 10-2, Leeds 11-2. In the regular season, Moody won 38-22. The rematch coming for the North Alabama Championship in 5A next week. And we just showed you in Class 6A, Pike Road beat Hueytown 11-8. Number 1 Saraland knocking off Spain Park 45-19. Pike Road at home next week in Montgomery County, hosting Saraland. Pike Road 10-3, Saraland 12-0. In the North, Oxford will hit the road for the first time in the playoffs, just like Piedmont. They are now 13-0 after their 28-26 win over Fort Payne. You saw the highlights earlier. And they'll get A.H. Parker, the Thundering Herd, 35-10 winners over Muscle Shoals tonight in Birmingham. And it was A.H. Parker and Oxford. That'll be the matchup next week. A rematch of their second round game from last year in Birmingham, where Parker beat Oxford by a score of 21-14. Oxford 13-0, Parker 12-1. And as we just showed you in 7A, the championship game is now set December 4th, Protective Stadium in Birmingham at the Super 7. Thompson 31, Enterprise 7 tonight. Central Phoenix City beat Hoover 17-7. Your state championship game is set in 7A. Thompson 10-3. All 3 losses by 1 point, all 3 each, and all 3 in overtime, taking on 10-2 Central of Phoenix City. Guys, we talked about all the classes. I think we haven't had you guys here to talk about the. Got Chad there picking up the paper. We lost that. All right. So let's talk about the small schools a little bit, the 1A, 2A. We've talked about 3A and above. I don't think since you guys have been here that we had a chance to talk about 1A and 2A. Of course, the big story for us here in East Alabama, Wadley.
You were thinking about going to that game probably circled on your schedule. Why Wadley as opposed to some of the other matchups that
how
are?
much food they got, but yeah, it could be. That's going to be another game down by a river.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That I talked about, river, Jackson River, Cherokee County, a lake. So, yeah, I can see Wadley this may be the year. This is big rat poison, but this may be the year because they're not just a one-man show. they've got three athletes as good as anybody.
Yeah.
And usually when you got that, you got a great opportunity to win it. And I just got an idea. This may be the year that they pull through and win it. And what a family, the Motley family.
Oh, I tell you, he was on our show last week, Shannon Motley, the coach down there, and they just getting it done down there. This has been quietly over the last 4 or 5 years developed into one of the powerhouse programs in 1A football. They were, the last time the Super 7 was held in Birmingham, Waterloo was there. I'll be shocked if Hackleburg beats them, to be honest with you.
Yeah, should be impressive to watch, though.
But Hackleburg has the offense to be able to do it. So I think it'll be a good game, but I think Wadley's, this is their year. You just sometimes just got that feeling, and this may be that year for them.
Speaking of that 6A matchup between Oxford and Parker, that's the subject of our last extra point of the night and our last extra point of the year. This is our last extra point presented by Randy Wood, state representative out of District 36. Here it is. Next week's Class 6A semifinal game between Oxford and A.H. Parker will be the third meeting of the two schools. Both previous meetings have been in the state playoffs. Both have been won by Parker. Both have been in Birmingham. I'll throw a little extra in here. Oxford has scored 14 points both times, 35-14 back in 2005. In the first round, it was Parker. Last year in the second round, it was 21-14 Parker. And so there you go. Now they're going to meet for the third time. It will be in Birmingham. Can Oxford do it and make it to the Super 7? We will find out next week. A matchup a lot of folks have been looking forward to. Oxford and the Parker Thundering Herd next Friday night in Birmingham. We come back, we're going to take you to Piedmont for Game of the Week. Fife and Piedmont on After the Game.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Terry Howell, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the F&M Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
I can't imagine life without Gwen, but we came dangerously close.
I was having chest pains.
Luckily, there was a hospital nearby that quickly discovered one of her arteries was 100% blocked. A hospital with life-saving technology and the latest in cardiac treatment, with an experienced team of doctors and nurses focused on fixing Gwen's heart. What hospital had all of that?
It was all right here at RMC.
What does it mean to be a community bank? At Noble Bank and Trust, it means you're more than an account number, you're a valued member of our community. Whether it's checking, savings, a loan, mortgage, or line of credit, Noble Bank and Trust meets all your banking needs with exceptional technology customized just for you while making you feel right at home. Make the switch to Noble Bank and Trust, and we will make sure you're taken care of from beginning to end. Noble Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Tailgate season is here, and tailgate with a new Team 1 Chevy. With every test drive, you have the chance to win a new Team 1 Chevy tailgate package. With 1.9% financing and up to $10,000 discounts on all Silverados. Take a test drive with a chance to win a new tailgate package. Save big with Team 1 Chevy and be a winner. Remember, Team One Chevy, home of the best people, the best service, period.
Coming up next is our Judd Edwards State Farm Insurance Game of the Week. We're about to take you up to Piedmont for that thriller, that classic between Piedmont and Fife. Judd Edwards over in Heflin, right there in downtown with his office, but he serves all of East Alabama with home, auto, life, and business. It's the #1 auto insurance company in Alabama, your local choice for insurance and financial services. He's been doing business in and for our community since 2020 and a great supporter of high school athletics. Judd Edwards, State Farm Insurance, bringing you our Game of the Week, and our Game of the Week tonight. We got Coach Michael Short and Jordan Smith from the Field of Champions in Piedmont. Here's everything that happened tonight in that quarterfinal game in 3A between Piedmont and the Fife Red Devils.
It's time now for the Judd Edwards State Farm Insurance Agent Game of the Week. Jordan Smith, Coach Michael Short. Coach, we had a fantastic game here at the Field of Champions as Piedmont goes to overtime with the Fife Red Devils and defeats them 30-28.
Yeah, well, it all started out with football weather. Great weather tonight. You can see the steam coming out of our mouth. But, you know, you had two great programs, two historically great programs that come out here tonight, and they fought it right down to the wire as we went into overtime. You know, Piedmont wins in overtime.
Yeah, and Piedmont picks up their first win against Fife for the first time in a regular or really game that counts. So they're now 3-1 against Fife, but when it really mattered the most, to advance to the 3A semifinals.
Yeah, and it's always been playoff games that they end up playing each other, and just what a great atmosphere here tonight. You know, you have to give your hats off to Fife too. What a great job that they did to battle back to get into this game and to send it to overtime, and then Piedmont responds in overtime like they always do.
Yeah, we're 8-8 at the halftime break, and then Piedmont comes in and scores, and you think, okay, maybe this game's going to settle down, and then Fife just comes right back into it. So hats off to the Fife Red Devils. And then Piedmont had to make a huge stop in overtime to stop Fife from scoring for a 2-point conversion.
Well, when it comes down to a 2-point conversion, and I think the whole town of Piedmont and all of Fife knew who was going to get the football, and Piedmont just come up and made a great play. They made one more play than Fife did.
Yeah, so let's head over to the highlights. Tonight's matchup would mark the 4th ever meeting between the Piedmont Bulldogs and the Fife Red Devils, this time with the Class 3A semifinals on the line. Late in the first quarter, Fife has a bad snap here, and quarterback Blake Dobbins would be forced to kick the ball into the back of the end zone for a safety. Bulldogs now with the ball. Quarterback Cole Wilson goes to the air and would be picked off by Fife's Ryder Smith inside the 5-yard line before taking it up past the 15. Fife now driving. Ryder Gibson would take the handoff, bounces it outside before being tripped up, picking up the first down for the Red Devils. Now in the second quarter, Everett DeBoard will take the handoff, and he's going to take it toward the sideline, picking up 8 yards on the play for the Red Devils. The drive would stall, and Fife would be forced to go for a field goal, and it would be no good, so we remain at 2-0 Piedmont. Coach Jonathan Miller is looking to get into the end zone on this next drive for the Piedmont Bulldogs. Wilson drops back, finds Raleigh Pinto on the screen pass for a first down. Next play, Wilson going back to the air, this time finding Pinto again for another first down for the Piedmont Bulldogs. A few plays later, Wilson going to dish it off here to Hayes Gunn, who's going to find a hole, and he's going to get his way into the end zone. Piedmont goes up 8-0. Coach Paul Benefield and his Fife Red Devils now are looking to answer that touchdown. Dobbins thinks about running here. Instead, he's going to pass, and he's going to find DeBoard downfield, and he would take it all the way down to the 10-yard line for the Fife Red Devils. A few plays later, Gibson takes the handoff and crashes into the end zone here for the touchdown. Fife would have to go for 2 at this point. Dobbins now on the option play, thinks about running, dishes it off to Gibson, and he's going to walk into the end zone. We're now tied 8-8 going into the halftime break. Now Piedmont with the ball. Wilson goes to the air, finds Pinto into the middle of the field, and would take it down to the 30-yard line. A few plays later, Wilson going back to the air, this time to find Bethel for 6 points. Bulldogs go up 15-8. Piedmont would stop Fife on their next possession. Wilson going back to the air, this time finding Isaiah Young for a first down. few plays later, Wilson finding Bethel this time through the air near the sideline for another first down. The Piedmont Bulldogs now inside their own 35. This time, Wilson's going to drop back to pass, connecting with Pinto, and he's going to make a guy miss and take it all the way in. Piedmont goes up 22-8 early in the second half. Fife back with the ball. Gibson on the direct snap makes a few guys miss before picking up the first down inside the 5-yard line. Next play, Gibson with the call once again, knocking his way into the end zone for the score. Piedmont leads 22-14 at this point. Fife would get the ball back, and now they're threatening. Simon Hicks is going to get the call. He's going to run toward the near sideline and would almost get in before being knocked out of bounds. Next play, Gibson takes the snap, gets it in for the Red Devil touchdown, and they would go for 2 points. Gibson with the call. He's going to knock it in for the 2-point conversion. We're tied now at 22-22 and going to overtime. The Piedmont Bulldogs would get the ball first. Quarterback Cole Wilson going to the air, and he's going to find Ish Bethel once again, this time at the 3-yard line. Next play for the Piedmont Bulldogs, Gunn gets the call, and he's going to knock it in from 3 yards out. Piedmont would decide to go for 2. Wilson going to roll out to his right, look back to his left, and he's going to find a wide open man for the 2-point conversion. Piedmont's up 30-22. Fife now with the ball. Gibson takes the direct snap, runs toward his right, makes a guy miss before being stopped at the 2-yard line. Next play, Hicks gets the snap, and he's going to be close. Is he going to have enough to get it in here? And he would. He would get the touchdown for Fife. Now they go for 2. He gets the call once again, and he is met by Piedmont's Kel Alston, and the Piedmont Bulldogs would defeat Fife 30-28 and move on to the Class 3A semifinals. We're joined now by the head coach of the Piedmont Bulldogs, Jonathan Miller, and some players. Coach, talk about that ending. I mean, to go up with Fife in overtime, and then you got a big stop by this guy right here to seal it in overtime.
Yeah, you know, it came down once we went for 2 and made it, had an 8-point lead. You know, all we really needed was one big play in that series of downs. Obviously, they scored on 3rd down, but they still needed to get the 2-point conversion, and Kel Austin stepped up, made a great play. I mean, but that's who he is. I mean, he's had a great season for us, leader on defense, you know, just a great kid, and couldn't happen to a better person.
Coach, you know, you had 2 great programs here tonight just fighting it out. And, you know, it's not a surprise, but you're a little undersized on defense. But, Lord, the heart that they showed tonight, especially right down there at the end.
Well, you know, that's what we've done all year on that side of the ball. You know, they just done a good job all year getting around the football, flying around to the football, making plays, using speed and quickness, and battling for 4 quarters. And that's what we had to do tonight against a physical Fife team. And just proud of our kids. You know, we found a way to win it at the end, and that's what you got to do this time of year.
Yeah, anytime you get to this round, it's going to be great football teams. And another great program too. You have to say hats off to them for the type of football team and the type of football they play.
Yeah, I mean, it's an honor to coach in a game with Coach Benefield in the Fife program. You know, obviously his resume speaks for itself, his accomplishments, what the Fife programs have meant to football in this state. You know, honored to share the field with him. And, you know, we knew it would be a 4-quarter battle. 2 good football teams, 2 good programs, a lot of history tonight on the field, playing one another, and just happy to come out on the winning end.
Guys, you know, most of you guys are seniors here. Talk about, when you going into this game, this is going to be your last home game here. Talk about just in general how much it meant to play your last game here at the Field of Champions, and then also to come out with a win like that.
Well, knowing that it was our last game here, we told all our guys that we just got to play with everything we got, leave everything on the field, and we couldn't be more pleased with the outcome of this game.
Both sides played the ball good, and it's awesome to have a game at the Field of Champions, and the fans are behind you all the way, and it's just a great atmosphere.
Yeah, I think picking up where they left off, we really showed up, and you know, this being our last game, I felt like there was a lot more intensity going on in it, and we all just really came to play.
We showed up and we played with a lot of heart, and I'm super proud of this team, and it's a great way to go out playing at home.
Coach, I know there's a lot of things you'll have to work on this week, and just regroup. Even after a win, now you got to start over and go 1-0 one more time.
You do, and we got to convince these kids that you know, we haven't accomplished anything yet. We're in the semifinals. Got 2 more to go. You know, 1 game at a time, 1 day at a time, 1 week at a time, and you know, a big time win tonight, no doubt, to get into the semifinals at Mars Hill next week. But we got to come back and have a good week of practice, take it 1 day at a time, and get ready for another physical football team.
Well, guys, there's 4 people left, and y'all are one of them.
Yeah, congratulations, coach and players. Huge accomplishment to go on to the semifinals. Piedmont defeats Fife here at the Field of Champions, 30-28. John?
A thriller and all-time classic at the Field of Champions in Piedmont in the 3A quarterfinals in 2024. Piedmont wins over Fife 30-28 in overtime tonight. Thank you to Jordan Smith and Coach Michael Short for the great work tonight up at the Field of Champions in Piedmont. When we come back, we've still got a lot to cover, including all the big highlights from that 5A quarterfinal game between Moody and Ramsey. That's next on After the Game.
Wow, these guys are everywhere. I'm telling you.
Hey, you remember when we talked about doing some upgrades to the bathrooms and the floors?
I do.
Well, I think it's about time we check in to do it.
I know exactly who to call. They're everywhere.
From your kitchen, bathroom, living room, fireplace, or anything in between, even the golf course, Ted's is everywhere. Call today for your free in-home estimate.
The game-winning touchdown.
A goal line stand.
The perfect catch. The perfect stop.
These are the moments that move you, but when a sports injury puts you on the sidelines, it's our job to get you moving again.
Aniston Orthopedic Associates is the longest-standing orthopedic practice in East Alabama, providing exceptional care to thousands of athletes.
Shaping the next generation of legends.
Dedicated.
Dedicated.
Dedicated to what moves you.
Aniston Orthopedic Associates, 8 a.m. Saturday Sports Injury Clinic. Every football season Saturday, 701 Layton Avenue, 3rd floor, Tyler Center.
McClellan Sports and Outdoors, locally owned and operated since 2008. We offer embroidery, sublimation, and screen printing, and we stock a large selection of team equipment. We have a large showroom with tons of gear and shoes to get you and your family ready for your next activity. Adidas, Under Armour, Maui Gym, Evo Shield, Wilson, and more. We are located in the heart of Calhoun County, here to serve our region with all your athletic needs.
We stand for Mother Nature, home sweet home. The best you, sunsets with friends, hustle, art that lasts, life's simple pleasures. You know, life has purpose when we stand for something. ATCU is now Emblem, a credit union that stands for excellence and community. But most of all, Emblem Credit Union stands for our members and what's important to them. We stand for you.
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you.
Contact local agent Judd Edwards for your personal price plan today.
Emblem Credit Union, throughout the year, Emblem has been providing our Band of the Week and also our Bottom Line with all the scores every Friday night popping up and scrolling through the bottom of your screen. Emblem Credit Union is what used to be ATCU, our Alabama Teachers Credit Union. Not anymore. As of October 15th, they became Emblem Credit Union, and a new name, but nothing's changed. All the great service you expect from Alabama Teachers Credit Union is now at Emblem Credit Union. You can go to their website, their new website, emblemcu.com. If you live, work, or attend school in Calhoun, Cherokee, DeKalb, Etowah, or Marshall counties, you can be a member. Life has purpose when you stand for something. Emblem Credit Union, we stand for you. Back on high school football, Alabama's after the game, back with Coach Short and Chad Barnett. As promised, we're going to take you out to Moody tonight. My crew heading down I-20 before a packed house. Last year, it was on Thanksgiving weekend, Black Friday. Jordan Smith and myself were out there. It was just as cold, maybe even colder. It was Moody and Ramsey in the quarterfinals.
It was pretty cold tonight.
It was cold tonight. Moody and Ramsey again, this time at Bill Morris Stadium, again in the Class 5A quarterfinals. But Chad, a vastly different result this year.
Different result. You know, right now, heading into these highlights, the Ramsey Rams, they're the only thing standing in the way of one of the most dynamic rivalries in the state of Alabama right now. Leeds handled their business against Corner tonight, so Moody would have to finish off the Rams in order to welcome in a second battle of 4-11 this season. Let's go to the highlights and see exactly how this one went down. Some changes are afoot in Moody. A lot of construction going on. We're going to see a new field, maybe a new school. Is that what you said?
Brand new school
Brand new
building,
school.
yes.
Lots of money down in 411, and we're going to get to see Moody run out for this contest and see exactly how this one played out. Moody with the ball, Elijah Rutledge. He's going to pick up an 18-yard run for the Devils, picking up a first down over the left side. Then LaCameron Meadows. Name sounds familiar because his father, Lou Meadows, All-State running back in Moody back in 2004. Just keeping that lineage alive. So that's going to be a TD pass here for 7-0 for Moody. Ramsey now with the ball, though. Jalen Martin with a handoff for 13 yards. Cameron Keenan goes to the air and finds Pearson Alexander for a 31-yard touchdown. We are tied up at 7 apiece. Keenan, that name sounds a little familiar. Blue Devils now with the ball. Charles Johnson pass to Josiah Dozier for 14 yards. A few plays later, check this out. The play of the year, according to John Holder, and I can't say it's not. Beautiful one-handed catch, 14-7 Moody at this point. Keenan here with the pitch to Martin. That would be missed, and Moody would recover at the 7-yard line. Meadows now, he's going to take this handoff, and he's going to knock it in from 2 yards out. Moody's on top now, 21-7 is the score. Back on offense again, Johnson this time going to connect with Dozier. A 37-yard touchdown connection, 28-7 now. Talk about a different score. Moody is all over the board on this one. Ramsey now back with the ball. Martin's going to take this handoff, and he's going to go 60 yards, almost houses it. He's going to be down at the 4-yard line. Beautiful play by the defense to drag that one down at the last second. Armand Goldsby with a call, but he's going to be stopped short of the goal line. Next play, Ramsey would fumble into the end zone, would be recovered by Moody and Rock Willis. So Moody hangs on tonight, and we get to see another thriller next Friday night as the Leeds Green Wave will now be taking on the Moody Blue Devils in Moody next week for all the marbles in the northern half of the state.
Moody 49-7. Last year it was Ramsey 40-27. So the Moody defense, we've been hearing a lot about their big physical defensive line. Gave up last year 40 points to Ramsey at home. Tonight gives up 7. That was in the first quarter. Shut them out the last 3 quarters. Moody is really good. Offensive line's good. Defensive line's big and physical. Dozier is a phenomenal wide receiver, a big-time player. Meadows, a big-time physical running back. Johnston at quarterback, he's a returning starter. Big, tall guy, kind of a game manager, but can make all the necessary throws they need to make. Kicking game, pretty good. It's going to be a tough out. It's going to be tough to anybody to beat them. They've already beaten Leeds 38-22 the first time. Yeah. So battle the bridge coming back up. But, well, I tell you what, I didn't know what quite to expect with Moody. Much better team than last year. Mm-hmm. They are, I think, probably the best 5A team I've seen this year. Okay. They are really, really good.
The one-handed catch you were talking about, I heard about it a lot before I actually saw it.
Play of the year. Here it is, folks.
It's a heck of a one-handed catch.
This is Dozier. We got it to you in slow motion right here. Watch this. Look at this. One hand,
Not
one
even,
hand.
and he never really gets it. It's in his fingers the whole time.
His second hand never touched it.
No.
And he
His
almost
hands have to
spun
be
it.
massive.
He almost put the spin on it, but he didn't.
Yeah.
That'd been a penalty.
He's got that stickum still on there. He can't get rid of the ball.
I mean, first, I was standing there in the back of the end zone. Cameron Greenwood, our photographer, did a great job in catching that.
Yeah, good job catching that. For
And
sure.
and we were in the right place at the right time. I thought he'd overthrown him. And then when he got his hands on it, I said, well, it's going to go off his fingertips into the end zone. And the guy just made a phenomenal
And they
catch.
probably, I mean, that was taught. I mean, that right there's no skill.
I tell you that you're seeing it so much. These young receivers, so many videos we've seen of receivers in the end zone in warm-ups.
Well, they're
they're practicing the one-handed catch.
They
So
are.
it's
That
where it used to be.
17-year-old does that.
That 17-year-old, he does. But I mean, so many guys. I mean, Odell. I think that's probably where it started from. OBJ, Odell Beckham. Whenever he had those catches with the Giants, especially the one Monday Night Football where he's completely contorted back, he started doing that in the pregame warm-ups. He would just be working on those one-handed catches. That's probably where it stems from. But my goodness, I mean, these guys are making phenomenal plays these days. They're not your father's receivers. They're different today.
Well,
they're different.
I mean, they got the skills from their fathers, but they're going to camps earlier and earlier in life. They're going out there and they're practicing their craft a lot earlier than what their fathers probably did. And their fathers never got to catch 15 balls a game. They would run it all the time. So these kids are out there practicing their craft just like they do baseball and basketball.
Sure.
And kids are better earlier on.
Well, and I've heard coaches talk about this too. It's so much easier to find skilled players today because of those camps, the 7-on-7s, the football leagues. It's just, no pads. They got the little soft helmets on, but you're having a hard time finding the linemen because there's not really those type of camps for them. Not to the level. I mean, I know you have some lineman camps, but that's why the skill positions are just phenomenal these
And that's
days.
why I hope, in Georgia, they allow you to wear shoulder pads in the summer and to go to those camps for offensive linemen, whereas in Alabama you don't. There's a push toward letting Alabama at least put shoulder pads on where them linemen can start working on their craft a little bit. Not full speed, but being able to go out and do things in the summer instead of just all of a sudden put your shoulder pads on, now go at it.
Yeah, and you see those and I know we're kind of just taking over. I'm sorry about that, but you see a lot in these, these scouting combines or whatever. They'll have them on there, and you'll have a defensive end against a tackle, and he'll have to get around him to hit the dummy. It's the same but different. It's not quite the same as putting the pads on in that aspect of the game. Am I correct?
And that's true. But boy, they still are physical too in those camps. When they don't have these shoulder pads on, just a helmet, they're very physical. But that's where the game has changed. Is these guys are being able to work on their craft year round. And man, that catch right there, I'm sure everybody Moody would like to see that all out there by itself on video.
And everybody talks about Ryan Williams being only 17 years old. I don't know how old the Dozier kid is, but he's only a junior.
Okay, so we'll call him 16.
16-year-old. He's only 16 years old.
He probably don't have a driver's license
Don't
yet,
have his driver's license.
but he's not going to have to worry about it because I bet his hands are that long.
What a catch.
Great win by Moody tonight. I think arguably you could probably say the biggest win in Moody history tonight because they've never been this far. They've never been to the semifinals ever before. And then to beat the team who put you out last year, the team was in the Super 7 last year, and to beat them 49-7 at home had to be the biggest win in Moody history.
I'm trying to think in the 04 years when we were talking about the Lou Meadows being there, was Gross there at the time? Was Gross the head coach there?
It was right before that.
Right before that?
Yep.
Yeah, because he came from Albertville.
Yep.
But the thing about it is not only when you come there to play them,
I think who that was.
Is to look around and see all the things they're building.
Brand new school that they think is going to be ready. Michael Graben was telling me, said to tell you hello, Coach. 2026 for the school building. The gym they're building there in the end zone is going to be massive, as you just saw. And then they're going to have, he told me, boxes on the back end of that gym that look out over the end zone of the field for folks to buy and purchase. And
people kids like to come. I mean, they like to move in to see that.
LED Jumbotron, which is phenomenal.
Was they tents? Was they?
They got any tents?
They have any tents?
Oh, they got tent. Coach, they don't have tents on the sideline.
Doctor tents.
They have tents along the whole end zone.
Yeah, I've seen that actually. I think that's where I'm going to, unless I go to Georgia next week to watch my nephew, shout out, plays at Fannin County. In Georgia, they're still in the playoffs. They just won tonight. They're going to the semis next week. If I don't go to that, I'm going to probably check out that Leeds Moody game. I'm
There was
excited
some
about that.
tents and Piedmont's outside the end zone tonight too, getting out of the wind.
There was tents on the Ramsey sideline too. They had 2 tents and 2 big video screens over there as well.
TVs,
Yeah.
turf,
Great atmosphere.
and tents.
There you go.
Great atmosphere. 2 great bands, Ramsey's band, Moody's band, fireworks after every touchdown, video screen.
Great fan base.
Great.
And kids love seeing that stuff. That's a recruiting, I didn't say that, but that's a recruiting tool on its own.
You said it.
Ramsey's got a
That's
great
legal recruiting.
Ramsey's got a great program as well.
They do.
Great fan base, great following. They pack the place out. You know, the folks on the Moody side pack the place out. I think I'm getting an update here. We may have a special guest coming.
Uh-oh.
Do we have a special?
Is he finally
No?
done with the show?
Not yet. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll come back and wrap up the program, possibly with a very special guest, as we wrap up not only after the game for tonight, but after the game for the 2024 season next.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Terry Howell, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
The game-winning touchdown.
A goal line stand. The perfect catch.
The perfect stop.
These are the moments that move you, but when a sports injury puts you on the sidelines, it's our job to get you moving again.
Aniston Orthopedic Associates is the longest-standing orthopedic practice in East Alabama, providing exceptional care to thousands of athletes.
Shaping the next generation of legends.
Dedicated.
Dedicated to what moves you.
Aniston Orthopedic Associates, 8 a.m. Saturday Sports Injury Clinic. Every football season Saturday, 701 Layton Avenue, 3rd floor, Tyler Center.
What does it mean to be a community bank? At Noble Bank and Trust, it means you're more than an account number, you're a valued member of our community. Whether it's checking, savings, a loan, mortgage, or line of credit, Noble Bank and Trust meets all your banking needs with exceptional technology customized just for you while making you feel right at home. Make the switch to Noble Bank and Trust, and we will make sure you're taken care of from beginning to end. Noble Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
I can't imagine life without Gwen, but we came dangerously close.
I was having chest pains.
Luckily, there was a hospital nearby that quickly discovered one of her arteries was 100% blocked. A hospital with life-saving technology and the latest in cardiac treatment, with an experienced team of doctors and nurses focused on fixing Gwen's heart. What hospital had all of that?
It was all right here at RMC.
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you.
Contact local agent Judd Edwards for your personal price plan today.
Tailgate season is here, and tailgate with a new Team 1 Chevy. With every test drive, you have the chance to win a new Team 1 Chevy tailgate package. With 1.9% financing and up to $10,000 discounts on all Silverados. Take a test drive with a chance to win a new tailgate package. Save big with Team 1 Chevy and be a winner. Remember, Team 1 Chevy, home of the best people, the best service, period.
Last segment of the last show of the year, High School Football Alabama's After the Game, here on Facebook and YouTube, presented by the Calhoun County Commission. John Holder, Coach Michael Short, Chad Barnett. Coming up in just a few moments, we're going to show you the real stars of the show, the folks behind the scenes that make all this truly happen on these Football Friday nights, as we're going to recognize our staff. We've got a special guest that's standing by any moment now. Now, this is not Santa Claus or anybody like that. It's not. No, now we got him. I think we got him. There he is.
Hey!
Yeah, we got him. an alumnus of the show and a face very familiar here to all the sports fans in East Alabama, now with WKRG Channel 5 in Mobile. And you see that in the background, host of their 5th quarter show. Gerhard, how goes it tonight in the Port City?
Hey, it is really good. Just like you guys, we had our 5th quarter show tonight, and it was our final show of the year. You said it wasn't Santa Claus, John, but it's our toy drive time. And so, yeah, we're actually
so I didn't even know.
For the toy drive right here. And so, yeah, we're getting ready for Christmas. But, it was a phenomenal final week of high school football here in the quarterfinal round. Several teams that are moving on. We had Fairland that's moving on. That was the game where I was. Simone, Eli, and I were also at Viger UMS Wright for our early shows. Previewing our game of the week with Viger UMS Wright. That was a big rematch from a Class 5A Region 1 game. And just like with you guys up there, it's so great this time of year to be able to see the local teams do well. And you are kind of like us. We unapologetically root for our local teams. And once again, we have a few more that are chasing state championships next week.
Gerhard, let's talk about some of those teams, because you mentioned some of those teams there, and let's talk about some of them for just a little bit. Let's begin with, I think our fans around here probably interested in Viger. Let's begin with Viger first. As we talk about Class 5A, there was the potential that we could have had a Clay Central Viger matchup that didn't happen, but I think there's a lot of interest in Viger and how good they are in Class 5A.
This is a really interesting team, John, because this is a squad that in 2021, I remember you were a part of that broadcast. I was too. Viger and Aniana played for the Class 5A, played for the state championship, and Viger won that game with Coach John McKenzie. Then McKenzie ended up leaving. He's back now, and he's back for the first time since that season. And there's a lot of parallels with both teams, the 21 team and this team. They play great defense. Today they allowed 10 points to UMS Wright. It's the only points they've allowed so far in the playoffs. Beat both teams. Eufaula in the first round, forgot their first round opponent. Eufaula in the second round, beat them both by 40 plus. Scored 41 tonight in a big game over UMS Wright. It's a team that plays really good defense, and they're on their backup quarterback. Actually, I have to say probably their 3rd string quarterback, because Sammy Dunn transferred over from Bayside Academy. He got hurt, and they put in another guy. He was hurt, and then now they throw in Dylan Jackson, who's a great athlete, but he's now their starting quarterback. So it's a team that, even though they have had to replace so many different parts, they get it done offensively, and that defense has been lights out all season long. So I know you all were interested in possible Clay Central matchup with Viger, as was I. But unfortunately, we won't get that. So as Viger will make the trip up north to go to the state capital, play Montgomery.
Gerhard, this is Coach Short over here. Glad to see you again,
Hey,
partner.
Coach. Hey, likewise.
Me and you have talked a little bit during the year about who might match up and talking about football. I know that Viger plays great defense. Montgomery Catholic plays great defense. But sometimes in those semifinal matches, when you're playing each other like that, it may be in the high 20s eventually. It could possibly happen.
Yeah, and I think that whenever you match up great teams, and as you mentioned, is those great defenses. A lot of these games, I think, are won in the margins. They're won on special teams. They're won on defense. Can the special teams flip the field on a punt return, or can the defense create a turnover in the red zone, get a field goal? There's a really good team that has solid special teams. The Viger Wolves do. So going into this game, I really think that the matchups will be kind of on the outside. On our way leaving Viger Stadium to go to Saraland, I got a chance to catch up with Coach McKenzie just for a couple of moments right before he was watching his team warm up. And I said, give me a couple of points we could talk about, after this game's over. He said, we're disciplined. I like our chances. He's like, hey, if we don't turn the ball over and if we don't commit a lot of penalties, they had a shot. They did that tonight against Terry Curtis. And shout out to Coach Curtis, because he's had a phenomenal career. Took a team that has 6 losses on the season all the way to the quarterfinal round. But I think Viger knows if they don't beat themselves, they have a chance. Of course, the Knights are a juggernaut, so that'll be a really interesting one next week for the Wolves.
Hey, Garrett, go ahead. We're stealing all the
Go ahead.
voice, Coach. Hey, Garrett, it's Chad, man. Hey, looking good down there, buddy.
Hey, Chad.
Do you know where you're going next week? And if so, why?
I think I'm going to Jackson, and it's a combination of a couple of things because I'll be up north spending some time with family for Thanksgiving. So then on the way back, I think I'll just spend a little time there over in the Clark County area and go to Jackson St. Michael. This is a really interesting matchup because this is a matchup of two teams that were 4A Region 1, and I was at their game, regular season game. It was our game of the week, and this is a St. Michael team coached by Philip Rivers, won their first ever playoff game this year. Went to the playoffs for the first time last year. They had 6 wins last year, 5 wins the year before that, 11 total for the last 2 years. This year, they just won their 12th game. So they're making history as they go, but this Jackson team has just been a juggernaut all season long. Their quarterback is Landon Duckworth, and he's been unbelievable. They have an All-American running back in E.J. Crowell for the class of 2027. But you talk about on the other side, though, St. Michael also has a kind of a guy that's looked at as one of those possible All-American types. Gunnar Rivers, the son of NFL great Philip Rivers, had a phenomenal season so far. I think he's thrown for more than 3,200 yards and like 30-something touchdowns, couple of picks. So he's unbelievable. You can tell he's a prodigy of a former NFL star. So as of right now, as we sit right now, I think that's the game I'm going to will be the Jackson St. Michael game, that a rematch there in 4A Region 1, and a guaranteed team that will be in Birmingham for the 4A state championship game.
Gerhard, I know you might agree with me on this, but Coach Rivers runs a lot of NFL concepts offensively.
That's right.
And I know they get better and better, and he creates matchup problems for people. I think that St. Michael's, and I've said this on this show before, may be fixing to turn into a UMS Wright type of team program.
Yeah, ironically, Coach, they actually played week 10 of the season against one another. And I really like that observation. I never thought about that until you just said it. Like, this could be something that we see as a kind of the jump start to a powerhouse. I think this program's only, I believe, 8 years old. It's less than 10 years old. Philip Rivers, this is my favorite stat ever. Philip Rivers has more kids in his family than there are years of St. Michael football. And this is the first year ever for the team to win a playoff game. And this is also, in my opinion, their best team so far. They've been able to put it together on offense. Where they've struggled a bit is on defense. We saw them in that game against Hanley give up a lot of points. They did the same thing last year as well. But the offense just does so much to put pressure on teams. When they get in the red zone, they can give it to Noah Moss, their running back. But you talked about it. I think you hit it on the head. They run NFL concepts. They run such a cerebral offense, and they can beat you running the ball. They can beat you throwing the ball, obviously. And I just think that this team understands the way that Coach Rivers wants to play football. He wants to play at a fast pace, but he also plays to the strengths of his team. And so this would be a really tough matchup for Jackson. I think Jackson probably has more athletes. I wouldn't say better athletes because I think they match up pretty well athlete for athlete, but I think that Jackson probably has a little bit of a deeper roster, and I'm really interested to see how that one goes because every team, I said this on our digital show tonight, every minute of football St. Michael plays this season, it's something where the program has never done before. Every day is making new ground for this football team, and they've been really fun to follow.
I got one more, and then I'll be quiet, Gerhard, I promise you. You've got, in 6A, you've got Saraland again, which I think is a team that's got a chip on their shoulder with the way the season ended last year. But to me, looking at scores all year long and the things they've done, they may have the best football team in any classification.
And that's so hard to say when one of the best careers in high school football history, Ryan Williams, just wrapped up last year. He goes to Alabama, and now he's carrying it up in the SEC. But you look at the team this year, the offense this year, there's really been no drop-off as far as production goes. KJ Lacey committed to Texas. Coach Sark really, really loves him, and we've known Coach Sark plays, seen a lot of great quarterbacks. Thought that KJ was good enough to be on that team, offered him. And we've seen KJ Lacey at the Elite 11. We've seen him improve so far this season. As far as a whole team, I want to see a team better than Saraland because the offense gets all the highlights, and they get a lot of the hype, and deservedly so. But this team plays really, really good defense. Antonio Coleman in the trenches, he kind of leads the way. Big number 95. He's been a Bama commit and an Auburn commit a couple of times. I know he's bounced around a little bit, but they have really good linebackers and a really good secondary as well. So this offense could put up 40-something at any time. Tonight against Spain Park, they got up 21-0 in the first quarter. And the Jags really kind of put it together there in the second quarter. 24-7 was the score, and then Coach Jeff Kelly and their offense exploded in the third. I know coaches hate this to say that you can flip the switch on and off, but I feel like this team legitimately can flip that switch on and off. It seemingly did it tonight against a really good Spain Park team, so I'm really interested to see what they do next week. It's a really big battle against Pike Road, and we got a chance to see Pike Road a couple of weeks ago. They played St. Paul's, and St. Paul's is a really good defense, and they gave up 44, I believe, 46 points in that game against Pike Road. So it's a really great matchup there. But I'm with you, Coach. I don't see any team beating the Saraland team when they're clicking on all cylinders.
Hey, and they're trying to cut me off here, but I do have one more. people need to remember that Jackson and Saraland played game one, and it was only a 7-point ball game.
That's right. It was so funny because previewing that matchup, we talked to, and you guys have talked to Coach Steve Smith and others that after you win state championships, it's hard to schedule games. It's hard to get teams to play you in the non-region games. And that's exactly what both Coach Flournoy, everybody calls him Coach Flo, Jackson's coach, and Coach Jeff Kelly said. He said, hey, Coach, it's hard to get a game scheduled. Hey, Coach, it's hard to get a game scheduled. Well, let's just play one another. And we said it in the preseason going into that first game. Hey, as long as everybody stays healthy, both these teams have a chance to win a state championship, and now they're on that right trajectory, the right path. You knew when you saw the polls right after that game. Saraland ended up winning that game by a couple of touchdowns, but Jackson stayed number one in the polls. And I give a lot of credit. I know the polls don't mean much this time of year. I give a lot of credit to the writers. They understood, hey, this Jackson team is really, really good. Stood toe-to-toe with the team there in Class 6A, and now they're both the number one team. And I think that if you're putting favorites on high school games, I think both these teams are the favorites, at least to come out of the South, if not win the whole thing.
Hey, I'm done.
All right, Gerhard, I do have only one more question because
1:11 in the morning.
it's the same time in Mobile as it is here. You may not know the answer to this question. Is KJ Lacey only 17 years old?
You know,
See, the next year at Texas, they're going to be saying KJ Lacey's only 17 years old from Saraland.
I have to find out when KJ's birthday actually is. I have no idea how old he is. But if he is, I'm rest assured that I'm sure the commentators will have a lot of fun with saying his age and how many times he threw to Ryan Williams over the course of the last couple of years. But that team set a standard, and last year they fell just a couple of yards short. Remember, Jalen Mbakwe played Chalkville that year, and KJ Lacey was a couple of yards short from me to this Christmas tree from winning a state championship last year. They're hungry to get back to the state championship, and it'll be really interesting to say. But next time I see John, next time I see KJ, I'll ask him how old he is and what his birthday is.
Gerhard, thank you for joining us. Just a pleasure. I know folks here in East Alabama, glad to see you and see your face again. We want to encourage folks who want to know anything about sports that's going on, especially high school sports in the Gulf Coast. I'm not kidding. WKRG Channel 5, where Gerhard is, they are it on the Gulf Coast. If you want to know about high school football or any sports going on the Gulf Coast, it is WKRG Channel 5 in Mobile. Gerhard, thank you so much for joining us on this Football Friday night. Coach is bowing at you there.
Joining us or joining Coach?
Yeah, joining Coach tonight on After the Game. Gerhard, have a great Thanksgiving. Thank you for joining us.
One last thing. Number one, thank you for the kind words. And number two, Simone, Eli, and I, we just love it. We love it. And John, you know it. We did so much up there with high school, and I think there's so much. It's almost carbon copied from what we were doing up there, and just the love of high school athletics overall, but especially football, and especially this time of year. And I know that tonight's the final night. You guys are doing staff recognition. I know firsthand what it takes for that show, and I know you've done a phenomenal job all season. Chad, I know you've done a great job. Coach, I know you've done a great job. Jordan and Kyle, everybody behind the scenes. And so as you recognize the staff, I'll recognize them too, because I know it's a labor of love. It really is. And it is down here, and it is there as well. I love you guys and miss you guys.
Gerhard, thank you. Have a great Thanksgiving.
Thank you, guys. You too.
Gerhard Mathangani, WKRG Channel 5 in Mobile from the Fifth Quarter Show. Now, let's show you. He mentioned some of the names. We're going to show you the real stars right now after the game. Here are the names, and we're going to show you some of these people. I don't know. I did not put my name on there. I didn't. I did not put my name on there, and it's at the top. I don't know why. And you know Michael Short, obviously, and you know Jordan Smith, obviously, Game of the Week. You know, and you know our man right here, and Chad Barnett. But let me tell you about some folks you don't know. Charlie Hinkle, all these scores we have, all these brackets we have, all these region rundowns we have, that's Charlie Hinkle.
Even the wrong scores I give him in the middle of the season, and then get all my credibility stripped, and I can't give out scores anymore. Good job, Charlie.
There's Charlie right there. There's the man, Charlie Hinkle right there. He and I sit together for about an hour on Friday nights as the scores come pouring in, helping do that, but he does all the work for sure behind the scenes. We had 2 directors this year that kind of tag team on the directing, and that, of course, Chris Cheatwood, who's not here tonight. Kyle Roughton, also, he is here tonight. And there's Kyle right there. 2 great professionals. These are the folks that make it all happen behind the scenes. They're the guys that are directing this whole thing. Did a great job for us this year as well. We have a number of great, what we call shooters. We have to be careful in this day and time because shooters, these are not people that go out and shoot people, that they shoot the video. They take the cameras out there. And Bailey Morris, she's over in Georgia. Watching her dad and her brother play tonight in the Georgia playoffs. Does a great job of that. Tyler Schmidt came on board with us new this year. First time. Cameron Greenwood. Tyler couldn't be here tonight. There's Cameron Greenwood. Cameron, I went with Cameron tonight for the first time. He went with me over to Moody, did a great job, and he's the one who captured that slow-mo, that great pass right there. And he's been doing a great job. Got thrown into the fire, Chad, to kind of take your spot this year.
Yeah, I tell you what, shooting football is not an easy thing to do. It's very difficult to do it well and make it look good. These guys came in this year and they picked it up like they've been doing it for years. They did a phenomenal job. Very happy with their efforts this year for sure.
Somebody has to, and this is a hard job, somebody has to handle all this audio. And Byron Wheatley, another new one this year, has come in and just handled it all tremendously. And, you know, with all the talking that we do and all that goes on here and all the guests we have coming in, there's Byron right there with the soundboard. Does a great job. And that is a harder job than anybody can imagine, with as much talking as we do on this show and as many different voices that we have on this show and as many different guests that we have coming in and all the audio elements. So Byron doing a great job for us this year as well. Go back to our screen there and show some more of these folks. We also had this year Steve Jones. Steve's been with us for a while. And Steve is the guy that directs what happens here in the studio on the floor. He's what you would call the floor director. He keeps me full of sweet tea, which is highly important, maybe his most important job during the night. But also, everything you see going on in this studio right here, Steve Jones, who, by the way, is a highly intelligent guy. I'm telling you.
He keeps me in line.
Keeps us all in line here. All these cheerleaders who come in and these players who come in and all these guests, miking them up and getting them ready to go there. And there he is doing the job right there behind the camera. Steve Jones does a great job tonight. Behind him shooting that video, as a matter of fact, is Nathan Gober. Is that going to turn? Are you going to turn it on yourself?
Back up the light there.
Shoot each other.
So there's Nathan. Somebody has to set all this stuff up. Somebody's what we call an engineer, because the technical part of things, when things start going wrong and things like that, we have Nathan there to kind of do all this stuff. When we come in on Friday night at 9 o'clock and we're out on the road, he's had everything. He's got everything in place and ready to go. And the guy shooting him, we mentioned Jordan Smith, and you see him on our Game of the Week. But Jordan does a lot more than just Game of the Week. You think, oh, he just goes out with Coach Short. He's what I call the fireman. He's the fireman, because what does a fireman do? A fireman puts fires out. And when we have fires that need to be put out, Jordan does it, and does it well. And there's so many other things that I don't even know that Jordan does behind the scenes there. That's Jordan Smith. So when you see him out at the games, at the Game of the Week, just know that he's doing a whole lot more than just the Game of the Week. I think that we've covered everybody. Charlie, Coach Short, Don Gober. We got 2 more we got to get, and they're key people here, actually from Parker Memorial Baptist Church, part of our host here. Don Gober is our host. Don is here with Parker Memorial Baptist Church, but he does more than that. When we bring cheerleaders in on Friday night and our guest, Don is the one who greets them, makes them feel welcome. We feed them snacks here. The church does that. He also is just the guy that puts everybody at ease here. He has a knack for that. and a guy that absolutely just makes people feel at home. He's our liaison, so to speak, between Parker Memorial and after the game. Don does a great job. We mentioned one other person here for our after the game staff who is in many ways the most important part of this deal. And that is also Katie Edwards there at the end. She is our marketing and sales and social media director, if you will. So we are totally on social media, on Facebook and YouTube. All these things that you see on Facebook during the week, all the great advertisers that we have, all the marketing that we do, starting this thing from scratch from day one. It started with basically going back to 2020 in the middle of a COVID season, starting this thing from scratch on the radio. It was me and Katie Edwards. And Katie has done a phenomenal job. Can't even put into words what she means to what we do here at after the game. Obviously, social media is a huge part now. It is what we do. It's what we are. And she does a great job of that. Katie is well in bed by now, I'm sure. And here at 119, as most are. But anyway, that is our crew. And those are guys, as you know, those are the guys and gals that really make this thing happen on Friday.
There's no question. It does not happen without any of those guys.
Absolutely not.
And women.
Yeah, and I want to take a second to thank all of the administrators and coaches and fans and booster clubs that feed me and Jordan and Cameron. I went to 2 games this year with Cameron and did a good job, and I just thank you for giving me that opportunity because that was a new world for me going out, and Jordan does all the work. I walk around talking, that's hard to believe, at a ball game. But those people brought us in, and they would feed us, and they took care of us, and I really appreciate that. And you've been on the injured reserve most of the year. You did a great job because a lot of people may have checked out.
I got to shoot some tonight, so that was actually
You did.
good.
Awesome. You found out you may need some glasses.
Let's not talk about not on air, man. Come on.
Well, that's our crew. That's our show for the year, and we want to thank you. The numbers have been incredible this year of the people here in East Alabama watching our content, watching our show. It is unbelievable, the numbers. It's going to be 7 figures and above across the board and everything. We thank you so much for making us a part of your Friday nights and your weekends and your football season. For our entire After the Game crew, have a blessed Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's. Our last show of the year. Have a blessed weekend.
After the Game is a production of Fairfax Garden